Good morning, good night. Thank you for choosing the Critical Hits podcast. Tino here. I'm hanging out with Jay and Steven. We took 2 weeks off because we are human beings and life has been a lot. What a busy summer, guys. What a busy summer indeed. Let freedom ring. Happy 4th of July to the greatest country on earth. I hate this place. I'm only here because I have to be. Like, why don't you leave? I'm like, because they don't pay me enough to exit.
Right. He said, where y'all gonna go?
Yeah, I said what I said. Mexico looking real nice right about now. I'm like, bro, I don't know, bro. Like, you know what? It's a couple pockets where I just feel like if I just mind my business, I'm gonna be okay. Right, Canada too.
It'll be cool.
In the U.S., they were just like, hey, man, it would be crazy if you had a little cough or you needed some insulin. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, let me tell you something. You piss off the wrong people over there. Mexico gets uncool real quick.
Real quick.
I'm not trying to listen to you. You've done abandon everything like you're hiding from the cartel in real life. Out here living like a white man.
Oh yeah, I love America. Times are good, boys. Times are good.
Either you're a Trump fanboy and you're orange, or you got a little something going on DNA-wise and you're hiding it. I need you to stop.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the. I don't know who I'm going to vote for. Well, I know I'm going to vote Republican, but I don't know who I'm going to vote for.
That's a weird Indiana thing to say. You know what's even? Let's say some words.
Yeah, who are you going to vote for?
I want you to say steak in Spanish.
Steak?
Yeah.
Oh, in Spanish? Oh no, I'm not doing that.
No,
I don't do
just,
Spanish.
Just for fun. You're Mexican.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 6 out of 10, Steve. Remember that earlier today?
Yeah. Roll that tongue, buddy.
I gave Jay a 6 out of 10.
Let's hear it.
You didn't know little in Spanish.
What?
Well, say eggs in Spanish.
I don't know. I don't know no Spanish.
I think
all the
you're
Spanish
lying.
I learned.
I think you're fibbing.
I don't know no Spanish. I don't speak no Spanish. All the people that speak Spanish always speak English to me, so I never got to learn Spanish.
Aren't you 50%?
Yeah.
So you should know a couple of words, bro. There's no way that you've been giving me shit because I pick up Rosetta Stone every couple of months to word a few words because I live in Little Mexico, right? Like I'm in Southern California. Like if I don't, that's a prerequisite. If you're not trying to learn Spanish, it might be time to leave. So like, not a little bit?
Nah, I don't care. I don't care. I don't use it enough for it to matter. It just is what it is. Like if it became a problem, I would definitely pick up a book and be like, all right, let's figure this out because I don't want to deal with this no more. Nah, it never comes up. And if they don't know no English, they just nod. I just nod. And it's one of the best interactions I have all day.
Jay, give him a word to say.
Like, what do you want to, where we at with it?
Something easy.
Something easy. Butterfly is mariposa. Mariposa. Easy.
Nah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't agree with it.
All right. Look.
Your ancestors are just...
No. There you go. That's your Spanish word of the day. No. You got it.
No. I'm going to write it. No. How do you spell it?
It's a Spanish N and a Spanish O. Very different.
None of my cousins here, the ones that live in the Midwest, none of them speak Spanish. They can understand it to an extent, but it's a non-issue. It's like you get no efforts for learning Spanish outside of your home, and everybody got really like white really quick inside their home, so it just never happened.
There's two sides to that I think are kind of sad. One, I think having been let's just say a Hispanic connoisseur, not that I've been a bunch of Latinas, we're not here to judge me on what I've done, but what I've learned is that they oftentimes have get bullied because they're just like, oh damn, you don't see Spanish, you kind of ain't shit in their own community, and like that sucks because that's kind of extreme. It makes you just not want to do it at that point, right?
I don't know if that happens as much as you think, though.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it happens a lot more than I thought. But I will also say that there are certain areas where like the opposite are true, where I think it's sad that you guys don't like kind of know a little bit, because I think it's a beautiful language and it's awesome to know some of that heritage, like it would be nice to like learn some of it, in the proper context, not being bullied into it. Granted, I don't really get a say, I don't have a seat at this table.
Right. Don't be a culture vulture.
I'm not, I'm just saying outside looking in, bro. You kidding me?
Just learn more English. Don't stay away from my Spanish, please.
From your Spanish. This whole conversation, your Spanish.
It's my birthright. So yeah, stay away from my Spanish and just learn more English words like Riz. That's a new one. You can use that one.
Yikes. I think contextually based, I am more Mexican than you at this point.
Not by blood? You can.
How many times have you been to Mexico? How many times have you been to the homeland?
I've been there 3 times as a kid.
I'm killing
It's
you, bro.
genuine.
I'm destroying you. Been there way more times than that, and I'm not just talking about Cancun.
Oh, you're a tourist. Yeah, I think you are talking about Cancun. Where
Yeah,
else have you been?
I had to fight through Border Patrol, bro. You don't know what we had to do.
Fucking with Raul, man.
Yeah, man. Dental care is so much better right over the border, man. It's like a quarter of the price.
It's just a $20 bill. That's all it is. Everything.
My shit ain't never been this white or straight. Like I love Mexico. They know what they're doing, bro. I don't know, but I don't know how we got here. I think it's my fault. Like, we came to talk about Sierra education system.
Right, and now I'm a failure as a Mexican. Ugh.
No, that's not true. You've always been a failure to me. It's just the context changes, but you're always
No way.
The context changes every day.
Yeah, as a father, Tekken, Mexican, what do you want, man? It's okay.
Dead.
No way, and it's not Sierra Education. Well, I think that's her YouTube name, but this is a lovely young lady who has a good OnlyFans already.
What
and
the hell?
There's a meta. Yeah. Listen, so it
has to do with OnlyFans. Why is it OnlyFans? It's educate. Why those two things are not?
So if you
Should
remember,
we stream this live? I feel like maybe we should be streaming this.
Well, it's too late now. We're rolling. So if you remember, these hot tub streams became popular because you could see more skin. And every now and then you would have a slip of the suit and it wouldn't get flagged because you were under the TOS of that hot tub stream. YouTube and Twitch has it. Kick, I don't know what's going on over there, but YouTube and Twitch have it. Now, Twitch is a fantastic way to promote your OnlyFans. YouTube is to an extent that you can go within their terms of service. And what they used to do was they would try on a shirt and they would take a shower and they would have a dry, wet comparison. They would put it under educational and it would just be on there because it was under every single TOS. Even though you can see through the lingerie, you can see through the shirt, it wouldn't get brought down and it would get thousands and thousands of views. Now, this young lady jumped on a new meta for every social media out there. I haven't seen it so much on TikTok, but it's everywhere, to where you do a breastfeeding tutorial with your actual tits and you use a fake baby, just a regular doll, but you do it like a tutorial, but you whip your rack out and you breastfeed the baby and there's your video.
The concern
and that
on
video,
Tino's face. He was like, what?
Yeah. And that video is stuck on Instagram. They can't take it down because it's educational. It gets stuck on YouTube. They took Sierra Education down. They took her down, but she has, me and Jay looked it up before we got on, she has 20 other channels. 20. And all of them are doing 169K. And this video, before it got brought down, she did 3.8 million views on that one video.
So what you're saying is that for likes and money, it seems like she's milking something from an educational standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
What her purpose
to be passing
is
on a network where she shouldn't be able to get away with these things. But
do you boys have an OnlyFans?
She's the church. Basically, she's like, you can't tax me because God. And they were like, damn, they got us there.
Exactly. It's loopholes. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that has the OnlyFans app here. And
so
what do you got?
I'm not mad at her because she sounds like a business strategist. So what she saw was an untapped market where, due to technicalities, like, she could make money. So and honestly, it's kind of fucked up because it's just honest enough, like the church, where if you decide to really push an agenda on one thing, you're going to get enough people that are going to rally behind you, that are going to fight for you, even if that isn't the actual thing. So it's really easy. Like, I mean, because, like, look, there's been tons of books and all sorts of things out there where, like, you can have breasts or whatever, but, like, in a way that's, like, not really sexualized. You really got to go out of your way and be a piece of shit to sexualize it, right? Like, where it makes sense. But she's doing it in a way, or so it sounds like, where it seems to be sexualized, correct?
Yeah, but the thing is, on OnlyFans, you'll see girls on there that the only way they can promote is like Twitter, and that's a degenerate field, and it's saturated. On Instagram, they can show cute pics, and maybe that'll bring you to their OnlyFans. But what their intention is to do these things, the breastfeeding videos, the hot tub streams, the standing in the shower to see how wet this shirt actually is. It's to get normal people that don't have OnlyFans to click on their link and come to OnlyFans.
But
And
like my thing is, how would that, me, a male, an enjoyer of titties, how would that come to my feed on YouTube? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's not going to come up for me. Like, those are my tags.
The algorithm can jump up and down. I mean, on Instagram, they show up in Reels now. You're just scrolling, boom, there's one.
So I personally don't get content like that under normal circumstances.
You've never seen one on Instagram?
But so what I was going to say is, but that's not to say that I don't occasionally get some like wild stuff that has nothing to do with anything that I like. So to put that in perspective, like literally Friday, I had a page that I've never liked anything on. Nobody I know is liking the page. I've never had any affiliation that I can recall with this page. And it was like 2 different pages that were like, I think like the same, like a main account owner or something. And they were huge pages. And it was just straight porn on IG. I was like, I've never seen that before ever. And I was like, yo, what the hell? So like, my first reaction was like, what page is this? So I can mute or unfollow or whatever, like block. And it's like, you're not following it. And Instagram was just like, would you like more suggested ads like this? Like, why the hell would I want this in IG, bro? It's just embarrassing. I'm in public thinking I'm going to see cosplay or puppies or something adorable. And I'm just like, and it's no, hell no. But like, I don't know why it was there, so I think, maybe sometimes they purposefully tweak the algorithm, maybe they like, put things that are not there so that like it picks it like, I don't know, put in anime, put in HGTV, you know what I mean? And like it's not that, like maybe that fools the algorithm. I can't say for sure, but I'm just saying sometimes I get something really, really sideways and like I'm definitely not following anything like that. And in this case, sometimes there's people that I follow that, which, okay, they're trying to like associate it. But in this case, no, nobody I knew liked it. I mean, because I was ready to point the finger. I'm like, who's the problem? Anybody but me. But like, it really,
that's wild. And usually
it's
me. Fuck.
But it truly was not anything that I had done. I don't know why. And then also to your point, I have been seeing people like sidestep this whole thing, so like sometimes, for instance, like I'll get like fitness models that come up. Now that's an interesting line because, most of the time, like, and to be fair, look, I follow both male and female, fitness, like influencers and stuff.
You're progressive. I understand.
Hey, fuck you. But like, but it like, cause like males, I mean, like that's, I can like see myself in or whatever. But I mean, honestly, I get the same motivation from like female. Hey, don't be weird about it, man. But is there a little me in there? But like females, I mean, it's like the same thing. It's just like I just enjoy it. Like for me, like weightlifting and all that is like an art, and it's just like it is what it is. And a lot of them are like anime heads these days. Sometimes it's like funny content. There's a lot of perks. But what has been happening, it's not happening anymore. But there was like a weird trend a few months back, or maybe early spring, where it would be like I only saw it with fitness females, but it would like be them like stretching a leg or something. And then like in the 10th of a second, like they'd like not be wearing underwear and it would like show something really fast, something that it can't, like Instagram's like algorithm, that's like made to defend against that, like couldn't do anything because of how fast it was. And these videos were like all going viral because it was for obvious reasons. Right. You know? And I just was like, yo, what the hell? I'm like, why is it that every time, we get this kind of lockdown and cleaned up, like somebody abuses the system in a way where like it becomes trendy because obviously there's a low, untapped market for it. They just found out this is something they could do. So it starts going viral and I'm just like, this sucks. And that's what your story made me think of though, is like somebody who found a hole in the system. But the reason that I'm saying that she's so smart about it is because by taking an educational standpoint and like, look, say what you want about me, but like the parallels between them and the church are really strong because the church, in my opinion, 95% of the time are crooks. They're not out here helping people with mega churches and shit like that. And I feel passionate about that. Not all churches and not all people are that way. So don't get me wrong, but most of them, it's a scam. You should be paying some sort of taxes or whatever. And in this situation, it's like you're getting followers, you're getting money. And then when we go to, sort of hit you with the bad hammer, you know what I mean? So to speak, I'm like, hey, you can't be doing that. You're like, whoa. I'm teaching, and that's like it's abusive and it's disrespectful to the people that do have channels that are more wholesome, that like really are like mothers that are like, yo, I wish that I would have had something like this for myself, and not just mothers, parents in general. Like this is like educational stuff that we need that very poorly was taught in school, so it helps for so many reasons. So to like take this thing and sexualize it, like it kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, smart businesswoman. She saw an opportunity.
I understand they're not doing it to make money off YouTube. I understand they're not doing it to make money off Instagram. They're doing it for the link below so that you can go to their OnlyFans and pay them money.
Yep.
And the problem with these social medias on here is they have to make it fair for everybody. Of course, they don't want to see, no one taking their head off on a video and turning so many people off. They don't want to see so many people having an orgy full blast, and now children can't use the app. But these women go on here and they try so many things. There was one a couple months ago to where it's like on Instagram, especially, to where they got a video of them and then in just one frame, it flickers. And they want you to do a little pause game, but it flickers. And then there they are topless, or there they are in their bikini. And then, the friends send it to each other, and then it snowballs, and then it rolls. Even the one on TikTok to where they would do it in a mirror far away. So you watch the TikTok, they're in a mirror in the other room, they flash, and then they walk in and they do their little TikTok dance.
Yeah, I just don't know if that would be enough to like get me to convert to getting the OnlyFans, I guess, Steve, it'll be more so for you because you already have OnlyFans, you already have the app on your phone. Like, so I guess you'd be more likely to be like, I'll see what's to it. You know what I mean? I give you a couple bucks.
That one video had 3.8 million. So out of those 3.8 million, how many people are just like, haven't got any action in a while, really think this particular girl is attractive, right, their type, and they want to see much more of her, and they want to be in the loop, and they want to see her live feeds. They would go to OnlyFans and pay. It wasn't even a lot. It was like $3 or $5.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't subscribe because you got to do a lot better than that. But just the fact that 3.8 people seen this one video, how many of those people paid at least $3
how many
to see
people
something
did
else?
it? How many carried over? I'll say, yeah. I mean,
it's a lot of money.
It'll be a lot, even if it's just like 5%. There's still a decent amount of people that carried over from that. So I guess I can see it.
And I'm not hating it. I'm not hating hot tub streamers. Whatever they can do, let them do it. But I think it's just phenomenal that she and other women like this are just sliding through the cracks and saying, hey, here we are. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't knock sex workers in any sense. The only, time that I kind of have a problem with them is when they exploit things like this for personal gain. And it sucks seeing them in areas like YouTube and Twitch, for instance, or even, like TikTok, because, we have a sea of content creators that are people that work really hard. I would say that, I can't speak for you guys, so I won't. But I mean, I would say that like I am one of them. I'm not like, I'm a small creator. I'm not constantly trying for growth, but like, I have ideas, I have fun, silly ideas. I try to put them together, to build my little ecosystem that is based on my hobbies, my interests, my passions. And it can be, disheartening when you have to compete with somebody that's only here under false pretenses, pushing whatever rules are in place to their absolute limit to bring them somewhere else to make money. And and it's not just me. There's people that, have, crafting channels, or people that are like chess geniuses or cooking channel. Like there's so many things, and it just can be frustrating. And I've talked about this before when you're, pushing something that belongs over here. I'm not saying there's not a place for it. Sure. Like there's a whole market for it. There's people that, that's how they make their money, but it's very frustrating that they keep finding loopholes to bleed into here. You know what I mean? Because like the reverse is not the same, right? Like I couldn't get on OnlyFans and be like, just kidding. Like it's a cooking channel and like be super successful. Like it's like nobody's going to give a fuck. They're like, well, what do you even do? Like, so, put the potatoes in your pee-pee. I'm like, oh, what? Hey, chill. Like it's just not a thing that's going to happen. So the reverse isn't there. So it just gets frustrating that this is something that we have to constantly fight and like deal with. And again, I have no issue with sex workers. Like, you know what I mean? If you want to make content that is both educational and sexy and it's working for you, like, honestly, like, fucking do that, Like, it's, like, I mean, that's a fight that, like, I can't be a part of that battle. Like, that's between you and, like, the wholesome mothers that are like, damn, you mean I got to crank up the heat? I don't know. It's working for her. Yeah. Maybe it'll work for you. Like, that's not my battle. But y'all got to have that battle over here. Like, you don't need to be on like YouTube and like, all these other places where we've already got enough stuff, going on. And that's just my opinion. And so again, like it feels really churchy to me. But I got to take my hat off to her. She saw a functional system and was just like, oh, I can do something with this.
Dude,
She said, I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something.
Mork Pie on Twitch, she really figured it out. She's probably the top adult creator on Twitch right now, and she'll do things with 4 cameras and like a one of those little walking treadmills that is only the bottom, and you know she's playing Elden Ring and she's blowing through the DLC, no pun intended. And on Twitch, she has so many people subbing, and her OnlyFans link is right there, and it's just a tornado of content.
But so, like, I'm gonna go ahead and be honest with you guys. Like, you know, I'm taking notes too. You know, like I'm paying attention to what they're doing. Talk for a second. I'm gonna revisit this in a moment. I'm pulling up some statistics.
All right, go ahead. And but she's on there and she's doing the streamer thing. Awesome. But it's only with OnlyFans in the title, OnlyFans in the bio. That's where she's making her real money. But she's over here and she's doing everything that streamers should be doing. Great. Like a couple months ago, Twitch had to adjust their TOS on the hot tub streams. They had to adjust it on girls doing face cam, all oiled up with the camera just, you know, under the cleavage. Like they had to really do all these things to try and make this a safer place, because all these apps want kids on there. They want kids using it. They want kids downloading it. And it's, you know, as a good parent, you don't let them do that. Like you let them on 1 or 3 apps. And then when things get a little squirrely, it's like, all right, we got to take a break. All right, we got to take that away, because it's like Tino said, he was nowhere near that algorithm. Then boom, there was a video.
So as a power play, gentlemen, and I'm just, you know, this is just guys. So we're not even on a podcast right now. Okay. We're not even doing that.
Okay.
Right. My average subscriptions, I'm going to run you guys through some numbers from November and December of 2023. I had 31 subs on Twitch.
Okay.
I had 21 the following month, 15 the next month, 27 the next month, 7 the month after that. I was kind of down. I didn't stream much. I had a lot going on. 8, 32. Guess how many subscriptions I increased in July?
How many?
I'm at 90 subscriptions.
There you go.
It's not because my content got better. I ripped my shirt off on stream. There, I said it. I played the game. I did it.
He said I played the game.
Yeah.
Hey man, look. Hey, those are your Tino. Those are your titties, and you put them to work. All right. I'm happy.
We're not going to hinder nobody here. We're not going to hinder nobody here.
Yeah, I mean, all that time I spent in the gym, you know what? And like the chat, like I kind of said it jokingly, and like, you know, I played that I've been a sexy girl. I played that, and they were like, hey, well, they're like, you got a little thing. Why don't you do a little more of the dance? I'm like, okay, you know.
Look, and, you go ahead. You make that a channel redemption at this point.
I saw some bits start coming in, and I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. And they were like, you know, I'd really like to pay you more.
Yep, there's a clip right there. There's a clip right there, and reported.
You better stop. You report me, I'll deport you. Don't fuck around with me.
You could only deport me to California. I'm only half. Then I'll be living with you.
We know the truth, bro. That orange man don't want you here. He does not. But yeah, man. So you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, look, like we had fun or whatever. But even then, you know, like realistically, it's just my shoulders on stream, and like I think there are people that like push the limits. It's just wild, you know, like that's the stuff that sells, and like seeing it firsthand, like even playing around with something small like that, it's just like it's not necessarily their fault. Like that's just like what the audience, you know, like wants.
Yeah, it's just compete with. Yeah, it's just the bottom denominator for people. Period. You know.
Oh yeah, I mean,
sales has always been a thing. Like
I discovered something else, Jay. If I put on my One Piece Luffy hat with my headphones, something different happens. You want to see real quick? I feel like I got to show you.
Yeah, look, show me.
Steven's going to be like, what the fuck? Hold on.
I'll just have to report him again.
That's all that is to it. That's 2 strikes. Get him out of here.
Yeah, I'm looking through her YouTube videos now. And they're all fake babies.
It's me. I'm just king of the pirates. But now I look like I might be a Chippendale dancer when the sides come up like this. So I happened to be doing a One Piece cosplay that night. I didn't know, wasn't my plan. But once it all came together, I was like, you know what? It's all making sense now.
you got those mini cowboy hats that Shawn Michaels used to wear back in the day.
Oh no, not the D-Generation X. Suck it, guys.
Yeah.
The fact that
That
Jay was
too.
speechless is sending me right now. Jay.
He could be no disappointed.
Well,
Hey,
yeah.
hey,
There he is. He has
hey, Jay's doing it. Oh, he's got a hat too. Tuck it up. Oh my god, bro. See, now
So
you
this
look like
is-
you might be from down under.
Yeah, like this
Can
is
I
why
get
you
down
cut
under?
the grass in. So, whoa.
You can't cut the grass in that, bro.
Oh, this is, man.
Okay, you know what? If you're cutting the grass like that, though, but like, look, are you doing it in these shorts? Hold on.
He owns nothing but shorts now.
Right.
Them things staying.
Look, hey, come on, man. Are we doing this right now? Are we doing this?
It's hot by you too, Jay. What do you?
Right.
Those are the hoochie daddy
I got my-
shorts.
I got my dad shorts on.
They're not short enough, bro. I'm gonna say.
No.
Oh, that thing was. that was that a thigh meat slap?
Yeah, Tino stopped talking and stopped him in his tracks.
Yeah, shit. I was like, I'm gonna put your phone number in as daddy.
It's done, Tino.
Oh damn! Hold on, I'm all tangled up now. It got me all hot and bothered.
His attack went down. That was like Charmander's leer. Fuck.
Right. He all fucked up. Oh, man.
There we go.
But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was cool.
I'm trying to touch on Jay. It's three of us, right? What's that old song? It's not gay when it's in a three-way, even if it is. You know, even if
Yeah,
you know.
2024
I'm pretty sure
different
the internet would disagree with you.
I feel like we'd have more ratings. You know what I mean? If we just had a little different camaraderie from time to time.
He said a little different.
Get that other audience.
I mean, I'm drinking spicy water. You know what? Like, I'm so metrosexual. I already look like it. You know what I mean? Might as well just play the part.
Might as well.
You know what I mean? Like, Tino, are you into that? Like, on Tuesdays I might be. I mean, if you
said
buy me
depends.
if you buy me a
Right.
couple of drinks, you know, it's a slow season. I mean,
Subscribe to my OnlyFans and find out.
oh shit, yeah, right. Oh well.
Hey, there's some people that have OnlyFans that shouldn't, and they probably make a pretty decent amount of money.
Oh man, guys, don't look at me when my kitty's on screen. Sorry, that didn't come out right. All right, I feel like there's not much more to say about that conversation, and it took a hard turn.
Yeah,
No pun intended.
it's all bad.
Oh man,
But it was all educational, so it's fine.
that's
Right, it's
crazy,
okay.
man. It was a big issue. And while going down a very immature rabbit hole, somebody said something earlier. I think it was in a stream, and they were like, they were talking about like how size matters, and so, like I don't know why, like I defended this or attacked it. I don't know how do I word the stand.
I wonder why.
But somebody was like, it's the motion of the ocean or whatever, and I was like, yeah, but like if you have size and you know how to move the boat, doesn't that kind of debunk the first thing? And everybody got really upset with me.
Yeah,
you're
like,
a monster.
they were,
like really quick. They were just like, whoa. I was like, I'm just saying, like, it's bold of you to assume that it has to be small to know how the boat moves. You know, like every boat's not Titanic. They're not all going to go down sinking, bro. Some of them make several trips. People love them. They buy tickets in advance. It's sold out, and it's not the little dinghy. You know,
right. If you feel like you got too much hang time in there, just get a shorter girl. I guess I don't know.
no, bro.
We could give up.
Those be the ones that be. I'm going to Miami, bitch. I'm going on a cruise.
Yes.
You're not winning her
Exactly.
back. It's over for you. Yeah. She's not in there talking about motions of the ocean. You know what? Next subject.
She's gonna come back smelling like orgies for 3 weeks. Fuck.
Never be the same again, you know? Just.
So what we talked about earlier, Jay. Let me ask you something.
Talk to me.
Since we're just going off the rails, I'm a little buzzed right now. I'm drinking these rum and cokes like they're candy. Jay, if you had one,
I've got a LaCroix.
A LaCroix? What's that Spanish for, Jay?
That's yeah. Like, come on, man.
Spanish.
Yeah, I was just.
Fuck, bro, it's not Spanish.
It's not the Croix. Are you sure?
There's if anything, that's like French or that's definitely not Spanish.
You know what?
Listen,
Let's find out. Let's look it up.
do it. Put it in the translator.
Oh, they gonna be hitting us with
French.
yeah. Boom.
Oh, it is for. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
It was obviously not Spanish, though.
They put la in there too. Oh no, it's L. Fuck.
Well, no, they put
Never
La,
mind.
but it's LA. That was LE. Dead
Oh, what's it,
giveaway.
Ellie? Oh, it's in cursive. I can't read cursive.
You know, if I marry a Spanish woman someday, you're not allowed around her.
You mean from Spain or Mexican? What are you talking about?
That's not any better than saying, "Are you Indian with the dot or with the feather?" That felt offensive.
Well, I could say it. You can't. So don't forget it.
You can't be
said,
coming
"Don't
through
forget
here
it."
with Christopher Columbus mentalities, you son of a bitch. He was like, they're
What?
brown. We went this way, like Indian. And they were like, no. And he's like, no, I discovered you. Like, we're already here.
Yeah.
Discovered. Fuck him. Sorry.
Yeah, dude. They were tearing down those statues, and here I am living in the middle of the place he took over. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, bro. Like, that story was not adding up like when we were kids in school. I remember I was just like, this shit sounds kind of sus, bro. They're like, no, the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. I was like, no, yeah, that's great. That's fine. They
Watch
were
this
already
Disney movie.
here. There's not a Christopher Columbus Disney movie.
Isn't it Pocahontas?
That's not Christopher Columbus, you ass.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, no, that was John Smith. Never mind. I'm looking it up.
And John Rolfe.
John Rolfe?
Yeah.
Who's he? Should I know that?
They were the creeps that picked up a young Native American girl and were like, this is going to be your wife. What is she, like 14?
It was a style at the
And
time.
Disney was like,
Disney
this is going to be
that doesn't make it right, but
can you paint with all the colors of the wind? I was like, this is grooming, Disney. What the
Right.
fuck are we even doing right now?
We're going to need a quick rewrite, and we'll just put it out there.
All I'm saying is, like, all the movies they've been redoing, you guys nobody's wondered why they haven't done a remake of Pocahontas Live?
Nah, it's kind of, I bet it'd be hard to do. She was ice skating for a while, and they took her out.
Yeah, because we don't want to see a 14-year-old. Jesus Christ, man. Like, that's a movie that I can't even, like, watch no more. Like, the songs are bangers, but, like, nah, dude, like, sus. And it's based on real history.
After
Sus.
Deadpool, they might be like, all right, Rated R is the way to go. Rated R Pocahontas, live action.
There you go.
Did you smoke your weed pen tonight?
No.
What are you, the cops? Leave him alone.
Right. I don't know. What do you mean?
I don't like the way that you said it, and that's not you energy. Like, I'm like, this isn't you. That's the weed pen talking.
All right, Jay,
Well, we
listen.
apologize.
All right, I'll shut up. Go ahead.
If you could pick one superpower to have, what would it be?
All right.
Real
So now I'm a nerd and I have the head of a villain, you know, like the shape.
Yeah.
Like Megamind?
It's close.
Like
It's
Lex
close
Luthor?
it's close. Yeah, I'll take Lex Luthor. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But so my power would be to either manipulate or create points of gravity, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. It's not gonna be like old girl from My Hero. They almost had it, but I can make things light for me, so I'll basically have super strength, heavy for other people if I want to do them in. I can fly. I can make a force shield around me or something. So if someone trying to shoot bullets,
Well, you
I
could
have
you
the
could
gravity
fly.
be heavy, and then it'll just go straight down. So it's like nothing, no projectiles can really get to me or nothing. It's foolproof.
You
It's
could
foolproof.
fly or float.
Well, if I have gravity that's so strong, it'll be like I'm flying. It'll be a whip, not a, you thinking moon gravity,
Right.
it's stronger than that. It's going to be,
Okay.
it's the real deal. It's the whole thing, the whole shebang.
Yeah,
So,
I think.
I mean, if I want to
think-
float, I could float, but it's up to
I
me.
think I'd like to fly. I'd like to just get up and zoom like fast, like Superman fast.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the coolest thing. Like, have you ever seen that that movie where the kids had the camera, Chronicle?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what
it's
I'm
been
talking
a
about?
good while. It's been a good while, but yeah.
It's an old movie, but the way that they were learning how to fly and moving around, and then woof, they were just zooming around. I'm like, man, if I could do that, that would be pretty cool. Like, I don't want to live forever. That's dumb. I don't want to be indestructible. That's for cowards. I think I just like to get up and go.
Indestructible is for cowards?
Yeah. Take a little pain.
Yeah, he said get good, man. Get good.
Yeah, get good. You're the one getting hit. Don't get hit. Get good.
So for a very clear description, I see you like getting hit. I'm also into BDSM. Thank you for bringing that to the table. Did nobody ask?
Right,
No,
yeah,
nobody
that's
has.
That's
not what
crazy.
we're talking about.
Nope, nobody set me up. I just said it. I volunteered that information publicly. Shit,
You talking about me and my weed pen? What got into you?
Right.
Shit.
Kind of drugs you taking?
Desperation, bro. Depression.
Smoking that California cactus over there.
Wow. Her name's Lola. Lola sounds sus, isn't it? There's no Lola.
There's no Lola.
So to be very clear, we're asking what superpower we want, and Jay's
only
answer.
get one.
That's the first thing. Yeah, that's the first part of it.
You only need one. Okay, so Jay, what is yours again?
It's going to be to manipulate like gravity, basically. If you're going to put it in one sentence, that's it. Manipulate gravity.
So you want like telekinesis, or you're trying to be like the girl from My Hero, like where you want to like things to like float?
No, it'll be closer to telekinesis. It'll be closer to that vein. I don't want floating. That's cool and all, but that could be part of it. If I need to make
that's
something,
not doing it. That's not doing it for you.
Yeah, that's not the motion that I want in my ocean.
You want projectiles.
Yeah, right. I want projectiles. If somebody shoot a projectile at me, I can make a ring around me, throw it straight down to the ground. Easy. It's light work.
There you go.
Or heavy work, depending on how I'm feeling.
Maybe. I don't know if you've read a comic ever, but I mean, like, you could be fighting with a superior nigga, bro. They might fucking poke your little bubble. You might get poked.
Nah, I'll be fine.
Somebody with a little bit more forehead than you was out there,
I'll be their underling. I'll be their ego.
You're just gonna be like Jake.
My little legs floating.
That would be like little baby Professor X legs just out here. Pause. This is gonna sound fucked up. I saw a video. I'm not proud that I laughed, but it was like somebody and they were just like, just because your legs don't work, don't mean that you can't like do more or whatever. Sounds real cool. They went to indoor skydiving. Looked really awesome. They wheeled them out. They put them in the straitjacket thing, the little flight suit. They took them, put them in there, and the second, now I've done this before, and I didn't even think about it. The second they went into that room, bro, their legs were like I was like, oh no. And the video was like, if you laugh, you're going to hell. And I was like, I hate the internet so much. I hate
going
you
to hell. That's it.
So much.
I've been real. It's been real.
But anyways, that's how I envisioned you if you were like at full power. Yeah, if you were like Omega level, like, you know what I mean? Omega, they were like, look, in order to make one thing stronger, something else has to go. It's got to be the legs.
Got to be the legs.
And Steven, yours is what?
Mine was to fly. Fast as fuck. That's it. That's all I need. If I can fly, I can take care of everything else.
So what's like Tosh.0's argument? Like, how would you fly faster? Do you have wings? I feel like you need wings.
I would say if I had to describe it, if I had to ask for what kind of flight I want, and for it to be fast as fuck. You remember that Futurama to where his cloned nephew figured out how the ship was able to fly? And he's like, it's not the ship flying around space. It's the space moving around the ship.
That was a dumb explanation, but yeah, I remember the reference. So essentially what you both said is you want to do the same exact fucking thing, but Jay wants to move stuff and you want to move yourself. You don't want wings. Unbelievable.
No, I don't want wings.
Unbelievable that you both said the exact same answer in a different way.
I just want to fly. He wants to manipulate gravity. That's what it was.
Creates it. That's what you're doing. If you're flying, you're manipulating gravity, bitch. You're moving yourself. That's the same thing.
I'm only manipulating me. I can't stop bullets. I can't move things.
It's a variation. It's in the same vein.
No, it doesn't come out of my hands, and I can control stuff.
Jay didn't say it comes out of his hands. He's controlling other things. You want to control yourself. By definition, it's the same thing. You're manipulating gravity within yourself.
He's controlling gravity. I'm controlling myself. Two different things.
You're controlling the gravity with yourself.
I'm not even using the gravity. I'm flying.
When you're flying, you're moving
when you're
yourself.
talking about gravity, I'm not even using gravity.
Oh, okay.
I'm completely ignoring it.
So gravity has nothing to do with flight? Is that what we're saying?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Nigga, do you hear yourself?
I have self-propulsion. Don't need gravity.
Gravity affects all things.
What about places with no gravity? They're still there?
Bro. I hate you so much. I hate you so fucking much.
Are you looking up porn while you're on the podcast? What are you clicking?
Yes, he's trying to Google superpowers that can beat gravity. Because he's sure talking a lot of shit for somebody that ain't said nothing yet.
I'm just really upset. You guys both said, okay, you said the same exact thing. So zero creativity here. That's crazy.
Hey, I said it first.
No, that wasn't the same thing.
You did say it first. You did say it first.
Okay.
Steven, I feel like you should have to choose a different power.
He said, "Go again."
Because Jay has dibs. It's the same thing. There's all the powers that are out there, and you're like, okay, I want to do what you do, but a little different.
Yeah, dude, you got to keep it. You got to keep it simple. You can't be like, I want to be like Beast from X-Men. You got to keep it simple. I would fly.
Beast is actually pretty simple.
Well, that's his power. What power would you have? You can't be like, oh, I want to be like Wolverine. You want either want to heal.
There's a video. There's 2 powers on that, and it's actually funny. It's 2 groups of dudes that go in, and they it's like superpowers. I'm like, okay, guys, so the superpowers, it costs $100,000. It's $50,000 per power. What do you want? And they're like, okay, we saved up. We sold our house. We lost our job. They did all these things, and they're like, we got $100,000. They're like, okay, so that's going to be 1 power each. They're like, so what do you want to be? And they're like, I want to be like Wolverine. They're like, and they're like, type, and they're like, that's actually 2 powers. So you got to pick one. They're like, you get the claws or you get the healing. And they were like, definitely give me the claws, both of us. So they both got the claws. And then the next 5 minutes of that video will have you in tears. So the claws are coming out and they're just fucking bleeding and screaming in agony and pain. And it's funny because like they both got excited. So they're wearing like wife beaters, and they both like combed their hair and got dog tags to look like Wolverine with like jeans, and there's just blood everywhere, and they're screaming, and like it's so they're in so much pain, and at the end they're basically like they put each other's hands on each other's chests over their hearts, and like, okay, brother, I can't live like this anymore. On the count of 3, and like they end up killing each other because they picked the wrong power.
Yeah, that's tough.
So, anyways, if I could have a power, it would be to teleport like Nightcrawler. That's it.
Just a teleport?
Just a teleport. And I would be perfectly fine having all the same limitations that he has. I want to be able to do it with the speed and accuracy. I'm perfectly fine with it being within about a 3-mile radius. Totally cool with that. That's what I want.
Yeah, he has to see where he's teleporting, right?
Not necessarily.
Or he doesn't have to see. He has
to. I think he just needs to, like, no. He needs to have seen it. He just can't go to, like,
Or I remember him saying in X-Men 3 when he was trying to get in Cerebro, he was like, I could end up in a wall or something.
Yeah, there's like, it's a little bit more technical than him just being able to do it like all willy-nilly or whatever. But like, yeah, he's got to have like an idea on where he's going. But yeah.
He's a bum. Figure you want his powers.
I don't know why you're so upset, but I mean, to me, that sounds like a really, really good power where if utilized properly.
Okay, so
like
now what would you use that power for? Where are you teleporting to? Who are you saving, hindering? Robbing?
I would be an absolute menace.
Yeah.
I'm not saving anybody.
See, I don't know. I think that you would save some people.
Nope.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
He's such a bad person, Jay. I was trying to tell you.
I don't believe it. Like,
why would I? For what? For why?
After a while, I can see you being like that.
But I don't save people under normal circumstances. Like, I'll still hand out $5 or a sandwich to like a homeless person. You know, I'm still going to push a baby out of the street if they're going to get hit by a car. You know, I'm not a monster, but I mean, I'm certainly not about to put on spandex and be like, I have a responsibility. My responsibility is to me. So what I will be doing is I will be stealing a lot.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I will be breaking and entering in ways you wouldn't believe. There would be no need for an Ocean's 11 and Ocean's. So I'm me. I'm the whole squad. Show me the map. I'm in. I'm out.
So you having a power where you can teleport, not really that far, by the way, but you don't feel a responsibility to use that for good?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, but I mean, 3 miles. That's 3 miles in, 3 miles out. That's
at a time, bro. You can make a lot of distance with Google Maps. I'm looking. I'm like, that's my destination. Like, you know, I've hacked Pokemon Go and traveled further in less time.
That's illegal.
And so will I be. I'll be illegal too, bro.
You're like those girls on YouTube showing their boobs. Fucking.
You mean winners?
The system.
Rich winners? Yeah. I mean, so like, jokes aside, I mean, we live in a society where like, on paper, we have a society that is supposed to work for us. And there are a lot of, amenities that like we enjoy. Like, I'm not going to deny that. But also there is so much corporate greed that like, you're just never going to get the upper hand. And, you know, when you look at shows, let's talk about The Boys, you know, like the whole main company, Vought or whatever the fuck they're called. Mm-hmm. I mean, those are people that are pimping out superheroes. And I do feel that under like in real circumstances, like in the real world, money is what would move things.
Oh yeah,
and
100%. That would be reality.
Exactly. And I don't want to be bought, you know what I mean? So if anything, I would see myself more or less of like a Robin Hood with those kind of powers, because like right now we obey things because there's repercussions and consequences that you have to adhere to. You're going to get locked up in a cell. You're going to get murdered. The media is going to paint you out to be a bad guy. You'll never be able to get a job again. Like there are so many reasons as to why we don't fight back against a machine. You know what I mean? Like for most people. Right. But like you give me the ability to where like you can't, like that's no longer a concern of mine. I'm not saying I'm going to make normal people's lives bad and be a terrible person, but I'm definitely about to start moving because I'm not worried about the repercussions of, these silly things. What the fuck I need a job for when I can reach in and take money? You do it from regular people every day. So you and I are not so different, are we?
Right.
I think people, if they got powers, they would be the same person they are now.
I don't think so.
Like nothing would change. You think people would like, oh, I get any power manageable. All right, I'm going to go do some good. I'm going to be a hero for 5 out of the 24 hours that day. Like it doesn't make sense. They're just going to be regular people, I think.
So okay, so like if we're looking at under like superhero tendencies, like I definitely would have, if I could see myself in a situation like that, like I would feel almost like a Nipsey Hussle type of mentality where like I would take what I could get and I would put that in places for people that can't normally get it, and I would help them in that sense. But would that be by definition like a superhero? No. Because it would look like, oh no, he just stole money and he's giving it out to, the hood. Cool, maybe. Right. But I think that that's, one of the places that like needs it. And there's, several other places and ways you can help. So I'm not saying I'm just going to have some amazing mansion or whatever, but I'm just saying that like if I see people that need money and I see people that have way more than they, know what to do with, but they're not helping anybody, like then I'll be the bad guy. And I don't think that like, what makes me a villain and by my own code.
Right. He said, I'm a bad guy, but I'm not a bad man.
A bad man. Yeah. Like Zangief. I see you, bro. But yeah, I mean, like, that's the kind of like person I would be. So like, I guess what I'm saying is erase the image of me being like, yeah, he's out here just beating up babies. Like, no, I'm not saying that, but I don't think that I would be considered a hero in that context. I'm not about to put on the Superman suit and be like, yes, America, my fellow Caucasian people, no, I'm not doing that.
Millions
Why they gotta be
lost
Caucasian?
Today as Tino strikes again.
I don't know how to stop him.
He's in, he's out. He's so fast. The media would drag me, bro. They'd be like, this motherfucker, he's probably out here getting cigarettes again. Probably doesn't take care of his kids. I'd be all over the news, fucking teleporting away, just getting dragged, bro. And they, you know what I mean? But the people out there, they know that I'm the real hero.
Yeah. And then, and what's your name, Steve? What's the name you gonna go by? Look, Bastion said,
if I was gonna be a hero, I don't know,
or a villain, or what? You just gonna try to keep it low, keep it.
Well, what do you mean villain? Like I'm not bulletproof. People can still shoot at me.
But they'll never hit you though if you flying fast.
That's true.
If that's what the plan is.
Have you played Valorant? I could get a headshot on him.
Not from what I saw. Fuck.
You won't even download the game, bro. Stop it.
I used to play it, and I told you wouldn't like it.
Don't nobody care about what you used to do, bro. It's about what you do.
And then when I watch your streams, those Valorant streams are getting more and more gray. Color of the world is leaving your eyes.
Oh, that's because I'm playing with people, like, because you play with whoever like the highest person like in your party is or whatever. And I'm playing with people that have been playing since the beta. So like I'm playing with like baby geniuses online, which is very frustrating, but also like forces you to get better. So whenever I get into my own matches, I actually do really, really well, like with people in my own like skill, like bracket.
Yeah.
But when I get in his, oh my God, bro, if I get 6 or 7 kills and 20 deaths, like I'm outclassed, but like I'm getting better. Because before, like I'd get in those matches and it was 0 and 30, and I was like, this is great. I love playing with you, friend. Yeah, this is so fun.
Our boy Lion told us to keep an eye on Fragpunk when that comes out. That's going to be right up your alley. I've seen a new version of Valorant.
Yeah, dude, I don't think I'm getting any other games for a while. They got me on X Defiant, First Descendant, Valorant, Apex, Overwatch, Fortnite, and I think it was 6 games already?
When have you played Overwatch?
You're the only one I haven't played Overwatch with.
You played with Jay? Jay, when's he play with you?
Never played with me. That was a lie.
Dude, that's what he does.
I guess
you're a villain.
That's what he does. How you ever going to meet a nice girl? How you ever going to meet a nice girl if you're not out here telling us the truth?
I may have already met a nice girl, okay? So now I don't need to tell you shit.
Oh, bitch.
Oh.
What's her name?
I don't think that's appropriate for the stream yet, but
Let's dox her.
What? What'd you say?
I mean, show her information online.
You couldn't find her. Oh shit! I might have tagged her.
No. He was saying, never mind. Never mind. We'll just keep going.
Yeah, is this one nicer than your last girlfriend? Jesus Christ, man.
Which one, bro? Because some of these girls, have been on the sauce.
Every now and then, Tino, you go right down to hell and you bring up a demon, and you're like, "Well, this is my new girlfriend. She's very nice. By the way, you're blocked on all her social medias, and she said you called her names."
I never had that problem.
I can't sit here and deal with two dudes that have been locked in for a minute, guys. Like the dating scene is, you know what? Why don't we wrap up this? We can talk a little bit about me and my adventures. How about that?
Okay,
the floor is yours. You have the conch.
Oh, so we're done. That's superpowers, and we're there. Nobody else. I'm the only guy that would be like an anti-hero. I'm Spawn in this situation.
Yeah.
So let's see. I mean, yeah, because look, I would. I guess it depends on in certain situations. If I'm, if somebody's trapped under the car, I feel like I would kind of be like, damn, if I can just lift this up easy, why wouldn't I? Like.
That's no different than now. If you see a car flipped over and someone's in there, I feel like you'd be the kind of person to pull him out.
Okay, pull him out, yeah, but not flip
Let
the
Jay
shit.
Talk.
You know
Fuck
what I mean?
that car. He has insurance.
I would love to see a video with Jay like running full speed and like drop kicking. Like, come on, man, just move a little bit.
Come on.
Justice crash.
Right, knock myself out. Just be fucking.
Then we've got two victims now. Shit is going down.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's all bad. Yeah. So in that way, I feel like I would be, trying to do something.
Let's play a game. You guys got to pick Jigsaw. A superpower, but then two of us have to come up with repercussions for when you use that power. Okay, so my first one is Jay wants to do telekinesis, right? But the caveat is every time you use it, no matter what the circumstance, depending on how much you're using it, you got to pee a little bit.
I'm down. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and so the more you use it, the more you pee. But if you don't have enough pee left to trickle out, you can't use your powers. So you're always hydrating.
Oh, hey, look, I actually fuck with that because then I can have my suit. It'll be like I'll have, it'll have the little
not you having
tubes, the tubes that go down to the boots. You know what I'm saying? I had little bottles at my ankles.
Oh, that should be
heat. Yeah, that should be heat. Like.
Are you gonna refresh in the water like Waterworld? Like it cleans up the urine like in your backpack and you just re-drink it?
And then exactly. It's
a camel pack.
If I see that, I'm definitely gonna play the soundtrack with a boombox talking about that. I've been a nasty girl as Jay's fucking. Did she want to get saved or no? Just give me a little bit.
Right. Give me a second.
Oh,
I would only say Jay could only use it for a couple minutes and then he passes out from the stress of using the power. Just boom.
That's just Jean Grey.
Is it?
Yeah, but every time she's like, "Oh, Scott, oh God." Every time,
she's just being dramatic. She's doing it for attention.
Oh yeah, she do be looking back like with a smile, like
right.
It's the
every
Phoenix.
Single X-Men movie. She was down on someone's knee.
No, Jean was for the streets. I said what I said.
Yeah, toxic.
That's another with Spanish Scott.
Word. That's
this
nice.
Shit's toxic.
That's nice and easy.
Okay, so Jay, pick one for Steven.
All right, so what? You want to fly? I'm trying to think. What would be like some of the opposite for that? I guess the having to drink. Well, I was going to say having to drink my pee, but that's not what you said.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's just how we just ended there. I don't know how that happened.
I ain't your sidekick. The fuck?
So look, here we go. So now
they'll call you the urination station.
Every time. No, that's the base. That's the secret base. That's the layer.
You're gonna have US on your chest.
But no. So now every time you use your powers, you have to be nice to Tino.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know you would love it.
Even when he hasn't gotten any sleep,
as he's ascending, descending, I feel like I want to be as
It has to be at the peak of his flight. So the second that he starts to descend, he got to be like, you got to have a nice thought of Tino, or you're going to crash. It's going to be all bad.
So it isn't like Peter Pan where I got to have it all the time. I just got to fly a little bit, then like send him a text like, hey, it ain't so bad with the heart icon, and then I'm good to go.
Yeah, you just got to have the thought needs to be pure. How about that? You don't even need to have the conversation with him because Tino's a busy man. He might be out.
Yeah, he's busy.
Yeah, so he might, who knows? He might be watching, nursing tips videos. So
right,
I'm gonna just let him do
3.8 million on here. He might be one of them.
I'm very invested in breastfeeding.
Education.
I actually am a supporter, so it sounds so bad. You know what I mean? I like that triggers me if I ever see a video and someone's like, "Wow, bitch, clean that up." I'm like, bro, it's a titty giving milk to a baby like it's supposed to do. What you want, bro? Mind your business. I swear I get triggered. But anyways, so I'm torn between two things for Stevens. The petty in me wants me to make it to where he could fly anytime he wants, but in order to ascend or descend intentionally, he has to have his eyes closed, which seems like a fair trade. You know what I mean? So like, almost like when you're going under, like in a pool and you don't want to get chlorine in your eyes, you got to push off to get to the other side,
Mm-hmm.
But your eyes are closed, so you're feeling out, like you hope you don't hit the wall too hard. I want kind of one of those situations. But the funny person
and that sucks
in me
for going fast.
Well, yeah, a little bit, right? So it's going to take some self-control, which we both know he doesn't have. It would be the perfect superpower for him, like the Ninja Turtles, how they're like,
so
yeah.
is it a toggle, or like if I'm just thinking I want to go down or up, my eyes got to be closed?
I feel like it's something that you would like feel out, but the second you open your eyes, hard stop though.
I stop or I fall.
No, you stop.
Oh, so I just freeze.
Yeah, because you're manipulating gravity, not flying, idiot. But yes, that part.
I am flying. I'm not manipulating shit.
You ain't flying. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Now, what would be funny, though? Is it, like, funnier? I'm not saying this is it, but, like, I kind of wanted him to have to say, like, Sim Sim Salabim, like, off Johnny Quest, like, when he wants to, like, go.
Right.
And that's it. And that's the only thing. You never saw the kid from Johnny, like, it was, what the fuck was it? Johnny Quest and his little partner in crime? I forget his name.
Are you talking about Venture Bros?
No, dude. No. And he'd be like, Sim
I've never seen it.
I loved it as a kid, but I was like, it would be so funny if you had to say that to like move.
And that's funny. You know what this makes me think of, Tino? G Willikers, right? That's basically what that is. You remember that all those years ago?
I do. You had to say it in beer pong too sometimes.
Like,
that was different. All right, better one. I retract both of my statements. You guys, because it's both gravity and manipulation, you have to have your Wonder Twin powers activate in order to use them. And if one of you gets KO'd, you can no longer use one of the abilities.
Oof. But he passes out after a couple of minutes, so that's quick work.
It's going to be tough. You're like, Jay, save your manipulate, use it to enhance mine. I don't know.
Wait. And then I'm already out.
All right, so before we switch to the last subject,
Steve,
what do you guys got for me?
One.
It's only fair.
Go ahead, fuck him up.
His was I would say, whenever he gets to where he's teleporting to, he arrives 10 feet above the ground, and he has to take that jump.
The older I get, the more I don't know if my ankles could take you, bro. I'd have moon shoes on like a motherfucker, a little parachute.
It's just something. Wherever you're going, you're 10 feet above the ground, and you just appear and go down.
Is it still effective if I pop up and I'm like, hold on, guys, I'm on my way down? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be cool at all. Like when Nightcrawler, appears and kicks, I'm just like, oh, shit. Oh no. Yeah, that's not convenient.
So here you go. So every time you use your powers, you lose your short-term memory, right? So you use it, you teleport somewhere.
That's just me normally.
Yeah.
And then you just be like, damn, why'd I just come here? Like, what happened? What's going on? What am I doing?
Yeah, so I'm just out here with like a fucking notepad like Steve from Blue's Clues, like just jotting shit down to try to remember what I was doing.
Is Mutant Memento. I don't know if y'all seen that movie. No. Okay, yeah.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Okay. This is a fun game though. I feel like we should turn this into a game, and we should do this like more often and try to get as creative as we can with it.
I'm down.
I mean, I guess we should ask the viewers probably, or listeners or whatever, but like that's funny to me. This would have been a good conversation for a live chat.
Yeah. They
would have been dragging us, bro. Would have been dragging us. Okay, so what questions do you gentlemen have for me about my adult life and my shenanigans?
Listen, I know I see a lot of my friends that are dating right now, and God bless them all. But some of them, like Tino complains about it sometimes. But I got friends out there that it's just a mess, and it's messing up their life. It's even getting their car messed up.
Dude, it's wild out here.
Yeah, dude, like dating nowadays, I got lucky way back in the day. I found someone that I don't think I could ever hate. I like seeing them every day. All right, let's make a family. But like dating, like if I was me and I was dating now, it would be an actual problem.
You said this would be bad.
You don't think?
Yeah, it would be an actual problem because one, it's like, oh, I like her, but she's already married. Oh, I like her, but she just got out of prison and she has 6 kids. So it's like it would be a whole different story. I would have to use dating apps. I would have to go online. I'd have to look in the magazine, the newspaper, see who's there. To find a girlfriend or even go a step further, someone you want to spend the rest of your life with, I can't even fathom how you do that now.
So there's so many layers to it that I don't think people really think about, like when you're dating and you're like, in your earlier 20s, mid 20s or whatever, there's people that, may have been in a relationship or two, maybe dated a high school sweetheart, and you just got to kind of like find somebody, 30s is a different ballgame. 30s, it's slim pickings out here, so you're dealing with people, so from a male perspective, but I'm sure I know that it's a two-way street. But from a male perspective, you've got, women that, oh boy, where would we even start? We've got the first type of women. You meet them on dating apps and you think you might meet somebody nice. Like, okay, they don't have any kids. Like there's, nothing crazy going on with like a crazy ex-husband. Like, they're beautiful. Like what's going on? These women think and operate like men. They're talking to 5 or 6 people. They are living their best life and they're cosplaying as somebody that's looking for a relationship. And that's one of the most dangerous ones emotionally because you're like, man, I'm really falling for this person. And there's like 3 people that you know what I mean? You're the next in line and the line does not end at you. And like that sucks because they're entering something under false pretenses, So like they sell you a dream and you're with it. You've wasted time. You've gotten your feelings hurt. Like that sucks. There's a lot of those floating around where they're just like, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out something. No, bitch, you had a bad week with person A. So now you're on the dating app and then you'll be, I'm person B and, in a week, you'll be mad at me and you'll be on the person C and you get played. That's a thing that people do, both men and women. So like, be careful of those people. There's a lot of them. The other types of people, are like, not to be shallow, but they're like a little bit more on the unattractive side by, standard, beauty habits. So, some of us are like, I don't think that that's like a thing that I necessarily want to do right now. Granted, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but like, just saying that that's like, a thing that's out there. Then you've got, people that like have kids and everybody doesn't really want to deal with that. I thought that I was somebody that could or would deal with it. But like once you've done that and that relationship ends, that's a very unpleasant experience,
Yeah.
So it's not to say that they don't deserve love or people shouldn't have it. Like it doesn't bother some people, but
it's just a different layer that you need to take into consideration.
You absolutely use. It's not something you can take lightly, right? Because if you're going to be in that person's life, one, you have to be ready to step up, which not everybody's ready to do. And if you are, you have to be ready for the worst case scenario, which is, that separation, which also super sucks. So, like that, all that in itself is just messy. Like whatever the hell your preference is, you get involved with somebody like that and there's like the scale is much higher. It's not like, oh yeah, I took a girl out at 23. We dated for 6 months. Didn't really work out. So we're done. Like it's not as cut and dry anymore. Like, the game starts changing. And then there's people that like will judge you for, that are like really judgmental. They're like, I need you to be all these things. And it's just like, bitch, you are not doing anything. No. You got to be successful. You got to make 6 figures. Like, They just hit you with like all this stuff. And you're like, who told you that does love matter anymore? Like I can be better. I can do better. I can go for promotion, whatever the case may be. But like, why is like my exact salary such a, in career, such a huge issue? Like if you like me and I have a sustainable life, why are we, you know what I mean? Like, but that's a really big thing for people in their 30s. And I would assume that probably comes from trauma, maybe with somebody that like, didn't amount to anything that they dated. That was like, yeah, I'm going to do something someday. And just like never did. Like, I don't know, but it's,
that was the same exact comment that, saved the show Seinfeld, that became one of the best shows of all time, where he's sitting in the car and she's breaking up with him and he's like, what happened? What's wrong? And she's like, I seen your act and I seen what you do for money. And he looks at her and he's like, you're a cashier. And she gets mad and she leaves. But the way he said it was so funny. And I think sometimes like I don't in the least fantasize of ever being single again, but like the way I would date now and the way my mind is, I would just be like, all right, I'm single. I got to be ready to take some hits. That's what I'm thinking. So the way I would do that is I would meet a girl that I would like. I wouldn't lie to her, but everything she expects, everything that she expects out of me, I'm going to try and live up to those expectations. And then when I get a good feeling for it, let's go to the next step. You know, let's move in. Let's meet each other's family. Let's get things going.
But I feel like that's a really nice sentiment. But like what you're not understanding, that very first part, like I'm gonna meet a girl. That's like the way you
said it's not that simple.
He was like, yes, I'm gonna just go out and get a girl. Like it doesn't work that way.
There's still some out there, right? And plus, if you got one on a dating app, she's specifically on that app to talk to motherfuckers like me.
A lot of times you don't. I couldn't tell you how many times I've been ghosted where I'll talk to somebody and it's going well. We're having good conversation. It builds up slow. Like, what do you like? I like this. You're like, okay. You know, oh, you're pretty. Oh, you're cute. You know, whatever.
And I don't like the sound of that.
Good morning. Good night. Or how was your day? You know, and like maybe you do that for 2 weeks and, you know, like max. And then you're like, hey, so I was just thinking like maybe we could like go and, you know, grab a coffee together. You know, and they're like, oh my God, that sounds so good. I'm like, okay, let's do it like Saturday, you know, this time if you're free. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, there's these spots. What makes the most sense to you? And then they just like never respond. And you're like, hey, you still on this thing? You're like, day 2, day 3, day 4. I'm like, look, bitch, are you coming back? And they're not. And then right. So then you go to the next one and it happens again.
They're scared to fall in love. You're so dreamy.
Whatever the excuse is, though, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I'm just letting you know that like that's a thing that like I'm telling you from personal experience, like I have done a lot. Now, what's actually happening? My logical guess is that they're talking to multiple people and that when it starts to get to a point where, you know, it's getting a little bit more serious, they've already established those steps with somebody else, which really means they have no business continuing the conversation with you. But here they are. And then this is the thing that happens. So what I am saying is like that first step of like meeting somebody is actually really tough. You know, and then it's also a little bit of a red flag if you meet somebody like, hi, I want to move in tomorrow. And you're like, yo, I like.
It ends the same way. Like what I would do is if I meet a girl and we text for a couple days, I tell them, I'm like, hey, this feels good. Do you want to go out? Like, you know, not just go out to get a coffee, but like, you know, you want to have a relationship. You want to do this together. You want to try it. If she says no, she says no.
No. And I don't think that that's the wrong mentality. That is, I think, the proper mentality, especially at this age, because you're going to be moving a little bit faster. I'm not here to argue that. But what I am saying is that first step that, again, you kind of went to is if it's that smooth, it does not happen that smoothly.
Yeah, like they just be cooked.
I imagine it's not going to happen like that all the time.
I've gone on at least 6 dates where I had a really great conversation and time. Where like I legitimately like, you know, it's like a joke, but it's not a joke where they just like use you for like a free meal. Like there are women that like I've experienced that firsthand where like you go in, you have a great time. You're a complete gentleman. You're, you know, welcome to their car. You know, you're not on anything else. And you know, you have your follow-up message like, hey, just make sure you get home safe, like whatever seems really good. And then they just fucking disappear. And then what's crazy is that you're in a rotation. You know, you are because like a couple weeks later, they'll pop back up like, oh, hey, big head. And it's just like, no, you never like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And there, it's happened a lot. So those, the ghosting and the ghosting where it's clearly, you know, like has a focal point for like food or a fun time to get out of the house for whatever reason. Like a lot of these women, from my experience, have been doing that. So it just sucks because I'm having, you know, a hard time getting into a position where you can actually create a little bit of a connection and even get to the step that you're talking about. We're like, hey, like, you know what? Like I'm feeling you. Because I'm not against that. You know, like maybe not necessarily rush into it, but I don't think it takes too long to be like, hey, so I'm liking you. We've gone out on a couple of dates. You know, I really, you know, I'm dating with intent because that's how I am. I always like explain that once we've, you know, had some time, and I'm like, you know, so like I have intent to marry, and I kind of would like to push this in an exclusive direction if you are feeling the same way. And if they are, then that's what we do. And if they're not, like, okay, cool, not a problem. I'm going to, you know, go this way because this is what I'm looking for. And I would like at this age, it's like, I don't want to waste my time. If you're unsure, then cool. Like, it's like, it's nothing against you, but I got to keep it moving. But it's just really hard to even get to that conversation because people are so like, you know, like flighty, you know, like nobody's really like giving it their chance. And they're like, there's no good guys out there. And I'm like, it's because you're constantly ghosting them because everybody feels that there's something better around the corner. So they don't want to invest anything. And that's kind of, like, I get it, but it's kind of a bad mentality, you know, like to do that to like, you know what I mean?
But you're always,
there's no time to let anything cook or whatever. Like, they're just like, no.
you're always going to be in competition with everyone else, especially in the game of dating. And it's like my mentality always was like my current wife. I saw her once. We texted a little bit.
Like there's going to be more, you motherfucker.
You never know. I am Mexican. You never know.
Now we're Mexican. Now we're Mexican.
Yeah. Arriba or Odele, whatever they like.
Say carne asada. He's like, whoa, buddy, whoa.
Is that the steak?
Oh.
But I saw her once, texted a little bit, seen her at a party when I had a girl with me. I was seeing someone at the time, and I was like, there she is. I got to get this
Don't let your girlfriend stop you from finding your wife. You heard it here first from Steven.
Yeah. So I put her in the back. I told my friend, his name is Buddy. I told him in the back, I'm like, just talk to her. Just keep her there.
Did you also text Pal, a guy?
Well, his actual name is Buddy. That's what we called him.
I know.
Buddy the Elf.
That you know what? Just keep it moving.
But I went outside and I talked to her, and she knew that I was there with another girl, so she said no. So time passed. I asked her again. She said no. Some more time passed. We had a little bit of a conversation, and she said no. And then I asked her another time, and then we got something locked down. We got something locked in. I'm like, look, I'll drop everything. I won't talk to her no more. You know, tomorrow will be day one. Like, I'll just call you in the morning, and we'll take it from there.
And like my thing is so for me personally, like if I feel like there's potential for something, and I haven't really had a chance to, you know, properly, you know, display whatever the hell it is you're looking for, you know what I mean? I'm gonna like pursue, but only within like reason, you know, because like there becomes this fine line where, you know, maybe 2 times in, like for me, it's like my hard number is 2. If I ask you twice and you say no, you know, or like you give me like weird wishy-washy feedback, like, you know, I only did that because I was really feeling you, but like 2 is like it for me, because once you get past 2 times, like asking somebody out, or, you know what I mean, to like really give you a chance, then I think it gets into a gray area where you start coming off as looking kind of desperate. It starts to get into like a stalkerish type of, you know, territory. And that's just like not like that's not a look that you want to have really in any situation.
Yeah, I was desperate because
your pride as a Saiyan depends on this, Kakarot.
Yeah, dude, I was desperate, and I knew like, oh yeah, she's single, and you know she was smoking, and it's like, all right, well, if this day is gone, then tomorrow. Who knows who she's talking to? Who knows where she's going? And then that's it. You missed your chance. So I was
kind of
really
weird
trying
because it's my cousin. I'm like, you know, but come on.
I was really trying to lock it in because
any other guy, I'm like, tell me more about this babe. He's like, well, let me tell you. I'm like, shit.
I didn't say nothing cool yet, though. I didn't say nothing cool.
No. I appreciate you minimizing it. Just
that's for the educational portion of the.
I do not want to think about her in this light.
But I remember. I know for a fact, like, after this party, I might not get another chance because, you know, there has to be dudes talking to her. There has to be, you know, I seen her on her phone, too, on the little flip phone. That's how long ago it was. But she was talking to people. And I'm like, all right, I got to do something. And, like, it wasn't like I didn't go up to her and like, hey, you know, you want to go out with me? And she wasn't like, get away from me. You're gross. She was always very nice. I was always very nice, but I was there with another girl, and you know, I had you know, drama around me all the time, so there were stories about me. So it was really, really difficult to lock that down. But I knew like there was always a chance on every conversation. Yeah. So I did that.
Yeah, I mean, within reason, like I applaud your, you know, your persistence. I'm just saying, you know, like there is that fine line. But like one thing that like I kind of want to share, because I feel like I am painting this you know, in a negative way, because I do think that the dating apps, like, overall have been a negative experience. You know, they cost money, so you're paying money weekly for most of them, or unless you want to buy like 2 months, and like that's a weird thing to think about, because I'm like, damn, am I going to be a loser for 2 or 3 months? I might be. Shit, I might save. It's like a weird thing to think about. Like I might save a little money, you know. And
or you meet someone in 3 days, got him good. Thanks for the money, chump.
Yeah, basically, you know. And then it's like the app sucks. Like, do you want to turn on notifications? And I'm like, well, I mean, I guess I probably want to be aware if somebody gives me a like. You know, time is, you know, of the essence. And then you get a message where it's just like, hey, you should probably get on here and swipe some people because nobody's clicking on you. And I'm like, oh, you fucking think, Tinder, that nobody has clicked on me lately? Thank you so much. This is just what I wanted to see. It's, you know, it's just like you miss 50% of the swipes you don't take. The notifications I get are like wild, and I'm like,
dude, I see boys that they go.
Well, so so a couple of things that I've noticed since I've gotten into this game, because I've been single technically, I guess like 7-8 months, something like that. You know, so
yeah.
you know, it's whatever. Like it's okay, but the first thing is when I first got into these apps and stuff, as I, like you said, I was swiping and like trying to find like the perfect person, you know, based on like looks, hobbies, interests, personalities. And it brings you down this like toxic rabbit hole that you just don't need to be in. So I started finding that like, you know, getting on here and there for a couple minutes a week or every other week was okay. I had better success just like kind of hanging and sitting tight, you know, like letting people like come to me and then, you know, clicking back on people that I thought might be worth my time. Now that relieved a lot of stress for me. The next layer though is understanding that a lot of these people are going to be super flaky, and you know, most people that you think you may have a connection with, like it's probably not going to be a thing because of who they are. It's not your fault. Okay, cool. Got it. The best advice that I can give is pulling away from those apps altogether and putting all my focus into, and this is going to sound so cliche, but like yourself. Okay. And like when I say yourself, what I mean is like really just kind of maximizing and focusing like on your habits, you know? So like there's one part of my brain that's just like, you probably should get a family or something, bro. Like, you know, but then there's this other part that's like, you know what? That's something that you can't control. So what you need to do is, you know what, like we're nerds, you know, like, but like my nerdism has allowed me like extra freedom at this age. So I'm like, all right, I'm working on video games, I'm working on music projects. And like the best thing that I found is just putting 98% of my energy into that and leaving that 2%, you know, having a window open. Because the thing is like when you find somebody that is going to be worth your time, they're not going to want to fuck with you if you're like, okay, I've been looking for this. Nobody wants that. What they want is the person that's got it together, that's focused on work, that, you know, is not without sin or problems or whatever. But I mean, they're, you know, they're a human being and they're just like, yo, this is me existing. I'm happy in my own space. And they're going to be like, oh, I like that, Mr. Happy. I don't need you. I'm gonna make you need me. Like that.
You're gonna need me.
Yeah, I can see your point, definitely.
That's where I found like the most success though, because organically when you find those people, there's like no pressure, you know? So like you go and you hang out with your friends, with the families, because one of the friends is going to have a sister that has a friend that shows up to somebody's quinceañera or whatever. And all of a sudden, you know what I mean? You're hitting it off because you didn't mean to. And I think that the dating apps have really pushed us in a way where they've ostracized like organic talking. So you look like a weirdo if you're like, hi, pretty lady at the grocery store. You can't do that anymore, you know? And then the dating apps, like, that's what you got to do. And it's all weirdos. I'm telling you, just organically network. Like you're looking for a goddamn job, you know, like you're like, I don't like, it would be nice, but I don't need it. With the wink, like live like that.
Me and you are on separate sides of that, because what you said earlier is, you know, I want a family, but I got no control over that. And honestly,
you can't force it.
Honestly, you know, if you're not trying to get a girlfriend, you won't get a girlfriend. They're not just going to fall in your lap. I know a lot of people are like, when it happens, it happens. When you meet the right person, you'll meet the right person. But if you're not actively looking for that right person you could have had is with somebody else. And that other right person that you're waiting for is with somebody else, because you're not looking to date. You're not looking to talk. You're not looking to try.
A couple of things. One, I don't want to debunk your opinion, but I know that it's a hard place for you to stand on because you don't have experience necessarily in that field. Like it's like an educational observation, like just, you know, outside looking in. But living in it are two very different things. And I want you to keep that in mind. Two, I'm not saying be ignorant to like your opportunities, right? Because like if that is a thing that like, you know, you would like to have, like you do need to be open to it, which is why I was kind of like, you know, the 2%. But I do stand on business when I'm saying like you cannot be actively like looking for it. You know what I mean? If a friend invites you to the party and there's 3 single women there, like pay attention, read the room. Maybe there's a spark. Maybe there isn't. But you can't be like, I'm going to get every single girl's phone number that's single that I think is kind of pretty, and I'm going to hound and harass. Like, you can't like do that. Like, it's going to happen organically. Like, there's an interest there and you guys are talking and conversing, follow up on it. You know what I mean? Poke at it, see what happens. But don't, you know, go in there and just like, hi, I'm Mr. Desperate. Maybe you've met me. And I was thinking, you can't do that.
It's not desperate to talk to a woman.
It comes off that way, though. I'm telling, like,
no, it doesn't.
It absolutely does, bro. You come off as thirsty.
Right, women. He's talking from the age of flip phones. It's different.
Yeah, I mean, just making a conversation with somebody that you like, you want to know better is not desperate.
You absolutely can, but there's like a finesse to it, and you cannot come out the gate, you know, like saying too much or like whatever. Best thing to do is just organically hit somebody up, you know, as a friend. And see, you know, is there interest? Do we continue talking? Do they organically hit me up and be like, hey, what's up? I saw you the other day. I was just thinking, like, how's your day? Like, you know what I mean? If you can get a couple of those going, there might be something there. But if you're like, hi, I'm Steven, I just wanted to introduce myself. Like, first of all, here's the pepper spray. I got a million dudes in my inbox every single day. I don't give a shit. You sound like trouble. And like, that's like what we live in today's dating world. So what I'm saying, my advice to the people that are in a similar situation as myself is to just do you. You know what I mean? Like, just do you and keep your eyes open because. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
No, I was saying,
Jay, you be who you gonna? Go with?
I'm just saying, like, so look, I don't know what I would do because I already don't use social media and all that anyway. So
but you've heard my stories. I know you've heard them.
I have. So I had to. I don't know. I'm gonna do something crazy. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be one of those. It was like a movie. I was driving my car and he just jumped in front of it. It's gonna be something like that. I'm gonna have fucking
not you out here giving CPR to drowning female victims.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have like sausages in my pocket or something, walking in the park, and then the dog's gonna be all up on me. I'm like, oh man, I love dogs, and then be like, oh, and then it's gonna have to be something crazy, and then the sausages fall out of my pocket or something, and then like it's gonna be like, it's gonna be real awkward, but I don't know. I have no idea what I would do in that situation. I would struggle.
I love Jay so much. That's got to be like the most wholesome response ever. And then what's wild is that shit would probably work too.
Hey, let's go.
Like Jay found it, but even that, like, it's like as wholesome as that is. You guys understand that, like, that's such an elaborate stretch to like make the most simple thing happen. They're never zero. They might be low, but they're never zero.
They're never zero.
Just for the record, I think it's
true.
Outside looking in, I think it's worth it. I'm not saying do it, but I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah, there's always a chance. Like getting slaughtered by a butterfly. There's always a chance.
Yeah, you might be allergic to that fucking one little, pathogen he happens to be carrying on his little flappy flaps, and it's a wrap, bro.
That's it. You're done.
They start hurricanes, they say. So I don't trust butterflies.
But I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is different now. But everything I used to only go by a couple rules. Like, don't worry about getting hurt. You got that puppy love hurt. Now it's time to get hurt. You got to get hurt to get what you want.
You do have to have thick skin, But and also to Steven's point, I rarely back him up, but I will say, like, I mean, and I'm putting emphasis on it. Like, you have to be open. Like you can't. I think it's more damaging and problematic to actively be searching and trying all the time. Like, it has to be, a bit more organic. Because, I mean, some of the best people that I've met have just been, like, by chance, good conversation. There's, chemistry, and then you follow up on it. But, like, that's what I'm saying is you got to pay attention, like, when there is, when that is happening. Because if you're, like, oblivious, like, I'm not saying head in the sand, I don't need nobody, I'm fine, and it's something you actually want, then, yes, you will block your blessing, so to speak. And that's not what I'm like,
closed mouth don't get fed though. I don't like how it's like, all right, I'm just gonna do me, and then if it happens, it happens. Like when you go to a social gathering and you hopefully there's somebody single, hopefully there's someone you like, and hopefully you guys hit it off. That's right, a lot of hope.
But what I'm saying is, like, from my perspective of actively pushing in, that hopefully shit almost never happens, or if it kind of does, it's like forced. It's a waste of time. You feel like you've invested so much energy, like, let me just see where this goes. And you know what I mean? You're dealing with people that just like are not, great people. They have their own demons and shit that they need to really work out. Or maybe you have your own, but when you spend time on yourself and you're not actively like pushing on that, sure, the people that you meet are few and far between, but the quality, over the quantity is a huge difference, right? So now you're dealing with, people that like actually want your time. They actually want to be there. And they're more interested, not because, you have this like desperate like aura about you, but you're like, hey, you know what? Like, this is what I do. I'm pretty happy in my own energy. And if you like that, then, you're more than welcome to come through and be a part of that. And I think that that's a very different like precedence when it comes into dating. And that's kind of what I had to learn the hard way. But
is this something you're trying that's going forward, or is this something you've been doing? Because what you're describing is a lot of lucky number sevens have to hit the table for this to happen.
It's something that like I've been doing. So like I'm saying, like, when I wasn't doing that, I was having lots of dates and interactions, and they were such a waste of time and they were draining. And honestly, they kind of were, making me like sad, where it's like, look, I can take hits, but it's like, when you're taking so many, you're like, Jesus, I'm like,
these hits are critical.
Yeah. There it is. But I'm like, man, am I ugly? Do I smell bad? Am I, super problematic? Am I not fun? You really get in your head about a lot of things, but it's not that. It's just, you just can't be doing that. When you find somebody that likes you for who you are and there's some chemistry there, breathe, take your time and build on it. You can't just be out here. You're like, anybody got any money? Anybody got any loose milk? Like, it's not going to do shit for you, bro. It's just it's an ugly way to look at it. And there are guys that are out there aggressively. Actually, this is why we have the problem we do, is like the men that get out there that fucking try to holler at everything that walks with like bad intentions. Like, that's why women are, for us men, that's why they are the way that they are now.
But what about the guy that goes out there and tries to holler at everyone with good intentions?
I mean, maybe he's a good guy, but like, because of all the bad that offset it, because, there's a lot of men that only want one thing, and they don't want to get to know a person. They don't want to be serious. It's like, hey, baby, talk to me. I would love to make you a single mother. There's a lot of guys like that running around, and that has created like walls. And it's like, I fucking get it, So I feel like the best position, again, is just to kind of like seriously like focus on yourself. And I think that is what ultimately is going to make you more attractive and attract the type of people that are going to fit into your life the right way.
And this will be the last thing I said, because we're at time here. I don't remember a lot about dating, and 100% it's probably different now with the internet. And, it's just way different with the mentality that people have. Yeah. But I do know how to keep somebody and stay together. And I think that stems from, if you're a good person, which there's a lot of people at the time, a lot better than I was, and you meet a good girl and you two are just good people forever, there's nothing that can go wrong. And people are like, oh, well, there's a lot that can, just nothing can go wrong. That's what people aren't telling you. When you find somebody that you like, and it doesn't matter how you met them. You met them in the hospital. You met them at the police station. You met them online. You met them through a friend. It doesn't matter how you get them. You met them in the dog park. It doesn't matter. If you two are good people, you stay together. That's why those people that have been married for 40 years, that's what happened. Well, and I know we all know people that have been miserable and married forever.
Social media wasn't around. A lot of them were like in domestic violence situations. A lot of people were cheating. Like, it's not as clean cut as
but they're the exception, not the rule. Those two old people dying in the hospital together in the Notebook, things like that happen more than you think.
It does happen. I'm saying it happens less than we thought, though. You know what I mean? Like every grandparents have been together for 50 years. Like, that shit was not always clean, bro.
I think it happens more than you think, Tino. And I think all of those happened with the guy being the aggressor. And take that in spirit in which it's intended. There's not a lot of women that go up and like, hey, you want to go get a coffee sometimes? I don't think that happens anymore. It's the guy that's like, hey, I know you're on the phone talking to 20 dudes, but, can we talk? And you take it from there.
Got you. So, real quick, Afro Man and Steven Gonzalez. Quick question for you.
Shoot.
I like how nobody argued. They just allowed me to do that.
Well, because he doesn't have an afro.
Yeah, hey, because I was like, I think he's talking to you, Steve. I was like, shit, I wasn't sure. I was not sure.
You know how his facial hair gets a little froey sometimes?
Okay, that's my fault then. I apologize.
No, because I don't give a shit about time right now. You guys got a few minutes?
Go ahead.
You're going to be okay? Okay. So here's something that I've talked about very lightly before that I kind of want to bring up. And it's kind of to a point that Steven made earlier. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's like psychology studies that are out, and I'm not claiming to be an expert, but it is something that I have looked into quite a bit that I found out maybe within the last like 2 years. There are 5 stages to a relationship, right? And most couples maybe make it to stage 2 and never progress past that. And there are even more that just dissipate and fall apart because they can't, like, once the first stage ends, like, that's it. And they're just like, this person's not. And the reason they're consistently out of relationships and can never make it work is because they don't understand that they don't know how to make it's them. They don't know how to make relationships work. They're just upset because there's phases. Okay. So like the first phase, they call it it's like the honeymoon phase, the romance stage. They call it the drug addiction phase. The romance stage begins when we fall in love with someone. It can last up to 2 years, and then it ends just as quickly as it began. In the romance stage, we experience love in its most immature form, infatuation. So, that's like, oh, wow, you know what I mean? I just wonder what you're doing today. You know what I mean? Like all that kind of shit. And
right. She's real pretty. I just want to do sex at her all day. Got it.
I mean, kind of, yes. You know what I mean? Or like you're exploring each other as far as like, what do you like and what do I like? And like eventually you're going to come to an end. You're like, damn, I know all the things that they like, and I fucking hate this person now. You know, like that's like a like a thing that happens. You know, so there's like a lot you can look into that, but essentially like that's where a lot of relationships fall apart is they get into the honeymoon phase. Maybe they have kids, maybe they don't, maybe they get married. It can last within 2 years. But I think maybe you guys have gone through it. I personally have gone through this stage many times where, you know, like once that honeymoon stage ends, you're like, oh man, I guess the love is gone. Not knowing that like, no, there's a timeline on it. This is the time when you're most immaturely super going to be infatuated with somebody. And when it ends, that's when the real work begins, which you two have gone through. And I've gone through, I would say, stage 2 and at one point even 3. But okay, so the second stage, the power struggle stage. The highest percentage of first marriage divorces happen here, around the 3 to 4 year mark. This is my territory.
There you
this
go.
is such a painful time for most couples as the illusion that the romantic love will last forever falls away. Feelings of disappointment and anger replace it. Instead of only seeing the similarities as you did in the romance stage, now all you can see is the differences and flaws. So you get to work trying to change your partner back into the person they were before, or punish them for no longer being the same person in their eyes. So that's when you get a lot of the, oh, you've changed. You used to do this for me. That's a big thing. I'm not the only person that's experienced that. And this is where most relationships fall apart. And like, I don't know if this is, you know, anything to you guys, because you guys have been in some long-term relationships, but for me, this was like mind-boggling. That I was like, yo, somebody like this is super consistent, like a tea, like a recipe. Ouch. Right. Often one partner withdraws. Dude, this part. Often one partner withdraws while the other pursues until they break up and somebody gets hurt.
What does that mean?
That means that one person is just like, I'm checked out, usually the woman, in most cases, not always. And then, you know, the guy's like, baby, I mean, what can I do to be better? You know, no, I've given you your chances. And you're like, what the fuck is happening right now? You know?
It's beta, dumper.
I mean, say what you want, but like when you think you're building a life with somebody and you've sacrificed everything and you're willing to, you know what I mean? And I think that the real reason women do first is because women get attention from all places and times. Men do not. And women will put on a little force field where like they no longer feel, see, or, you know, any advances. But once they start to fall out of love with you, then they start allowing those compliments, these people, they see their options, things start happening. And that's why I say that women switch first. And then men are often like confused. You know what I mean? They're just like, well, what happened? I was just doing what I always do. And that therein lies the problem in the woman's eyes. My 2 cents, though, that's not part of this. I'm just adding in what I think. So stage 3, the stability stage. So if you make it to this stage, once you've learned how to fight in a way that both of you win, you move to stability relationship, a period of relative peace that follows. If you've actually resolved your differences and gotten onto the same page together, the thrill of being, in love can return. It comes and it goes. This time is a deeper, more mature form of the romance stage. In the stability, it finally becomes very clear that you're never, ever going to succeed in changing your partner, but you've given up on trying to change them. You actually love them for who they are. I personally have never gotten to that stage. But that's a very real thing. And insight, you guys got something to say? Jay's looking, he's hitting the wheat bend. He's got the.
I'm just taking it all in, you know. But it's beautiful. I love it.
It does sound familiar. I mean, that's where we're at. It's like, it's honestly all good times. We're so happy to see each other. We're a team. We're always on the same page. And if she's had an impasse with me and her, like, I don't want to say I just give up, but I can do either or. I'll be okay.
So like for me, like I've had a handful of exes from my past that we made it to the second stage. And I think we both, you know, at the time were feeling that way for whatever reason, kind of like what it explained. But afterwards, this shit starts to hit them because, again, this typically hits women first. And I'm not saying every ex I've ever had has gone through this with me. That's not true. But I've had exes reach out to me, multiple, that are like, you know, I just feel like, you know, we could have did this, we could have did that. But the translation is I've had multiple relationships since the time that we've split up. I think that you may have been the best person for me out of what I've experienced.
I fucked up.
I mean, yeah, but
love me, please.
Basically, they're like, wow, it's crazy because I got through the honeymoon phase and I felt exactly the same every time. And it's just like, right, because this is a thing that happens with, you know, people. It's not necessarily that you and I weren't compatible. You just weren't mature enough to talk it out and work on things. So you ran away from the situation because you felt you could do better. And maybe you will someday, but you haven't yet. So now you're retracing your steps and looking back. For them, this is a lesson learned. But I'm just saying, like, it's weird to, like, you know, hear that kind of stuff and then, like, look at something like this and, like, oh, they're just in a consistent cycle of failure because they don't know how to get out of stage 2.
I mean, maybe. I don't see nothing wrong, especially with the dating game. If somebody, like, they date, something happens, and then they date again, and then they get married. Well, I think that happens all the time.
In the grand scheme, unbiasedly, it's like I'm not going to condemn somebody in any situation, or even somebody that I dated, for, you know, having those feelings and walking out, because you didn't know any better. You don't know what you don't know, and that's experience. But what I am saying is that a lot of them are not taking stock that this is a pattern. Okay, so a lot of times this happens not because they haven't met the right person or whatever, but it's because they haven't figured out that they kind of need to work on themselves.
Yeah, they have lessons that they need to learn still.
Right. And they're not learning them. So the cycle, you know, perpetuates. And I think, you know, for them to ultimately find their happiness, being with somebody is a thing that they want. They need to identify that, work on that, and figure out, okay, so when I'm with somebody and the whole, like, you know, ridiculous honeymoon phase, you know, finally wears out, like, how do we move forward, you know, as a couple? You know, people love to talk about how great marriage is, but the reason the divorce rate is so high is because, you know, people are looking at marriage for the idea of marriage and not what it really takes, you know? So it's like, if you can't make a relationship function without marriage, like marriage or having a baby are not two things that save and magically, you know, like the Disney Channel fucking fix a problem. You know, the problem is always going to be there. And if you don't address it maturely, you're never going to overcome it. Therefore, you're going to end up being divorced or miserable staying in a relationship you don't know how to fix. So,
right.
You know, that's what I have to say about that. But I know we're getting close on time. So to kind of fast forward to these other stages, the 4th stage, commitment stage. The commitment stage has nothing to do with getting married. That's funny that I just said that. But in the commitment stage, you fully surrender to the reality that you and your partner are human and that your relationship has shortcomings as a result. You've learned to love each other by having to like each other. You choose each other consciously. You can honestly say to your partner, I don't need you, I choose you, knowing all that I know about you, both the good and the bad. And I think that that's, you know, a beautiful thing in itself. Like, you know, that statement. Mm-hmm. It's not like the fairy tale we want, but like it's an honest fairy tale, I think.
Right.
And that makes it more beautiful, you know? It's just like the whole cookie cutter thing is just like.
Agreed. It's cool, and then the last stage is, you know, in this stage, it's called the bliss co-creation stage. In this stage, your relationship evolves beyond the boundaries of your family unit. And like a teenager leaving home, it moves out into the world. You've learned that love is not infatuation, love is not power, love is not stability, and love is not commitment. Now the two of you are both naturally called to, you know, give back to society in some way as a couple, which I think is, again, another, you know, beautiful thing. So I say all that to say, if you're in a situation similar to mine, you know, just to use as an example, I do think that approaching it the way that I'm suggesting is going to open up the doors for a higher % chance of meeting somebody that you can build in this fashion with. You know, when you're just like randomly, like, you know, shooting shots like left and right, you know, for people that are not mentally where they need to be, it's almost impossible to actually build something, you know, and you're going to find out the hard way really fucking quick, or you're going to try to force it and be miserable. So, you know, that's my 2 cents. Dr. Tino's in the house today. But
you have your opportunity to prove it. So like,
well, I mean, sure,
we'll see in like a couple years or a couple months.
But I mean, from a factual side, with things that have occurred in my life already, I will say that my life, as far as dating is concerned, has gotten exponentially better since kind of just like reeling it in and focusing like on myself. You know, so I meet people. And also, like, it's not like desperate, you know, because like before, it's like I would take it really hard when I'm like really putting in all this effort and like I'm not getting any results. But now I'm like, you know what, I'm good, you know, so this is what I can provide. I'm the guy that's going to show up with flowers. I'm going to sweep you off your feet. I'm going to do the song and dance and make your family and friends think I'm super awesome because I want to do that for you. But like, I also want to be wanted, and here are like my expectations, you know. And if you feel that my expectations, you know, don't matter, whatever, girl, look, I'm not even about to waste your time. I'm not going to hold you up. And I say it confidently, though. You know, because like the thing is, like, when you know your worth and you're not like desperate and you're looking for it, I mean, it's just a lot better. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, turning back to street me, I'll sit on video games all night long until 3-4 in the morning and not giving a shit about what's happening on outside these walls. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy. I'm having fun. I'm in my zone, and I want somebody that can respect me for that. And whatever your thing is, like, you should have somebody that respects you for the things that, like, you want to do. You want to fucking sit down and play Beyblade. You want to go to fucking sports night and do fantasy sports till 3 a.m.
I don't know if
you gotta have somebody that vibes with that. Or you're not gonna be happy.
Just pulled out the Beyblade bowl, I might just be like,
dude, that dude's dying alone.
Like, whoa, what?
Beyblade. That dude's done.
You're not trying to Beyblade with Bay? Look at me in the eyes and tell me you're not trying to Beyblade with Bay.
That's a different type of Beyblade, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's a different type of cutting weed. Like,
right?
I don't know. I just.
Oh,
yeah.
You gotta rip it.
Like,
oh, okay.
It's bad, but I think I do agree with what you were saying, though, Tino, is focus on yourself, because like you said, that's what you control without stressing out about it. You know, if you were to go, like Steve was saying, go like forward and go all out, you might, after a while, you might kind of frizzle out a little bit. You know, there's more variables that you can't control doing that, and ultimately that is going to be worth the risk. But you know, sometimes you might need to pull back. It's an ebb and flow type thing.
And listen, I think any dating app is a hookup app. I may be speaking out of school on that, but if you see a girl that you like at the grocery store, just approach. That's my thing. The hookup apps, I completely understand, but if you see something that you like in the wild, I would say approach. But what do I know? I'm sitting here talking to you guys.
Yeah, in today's, I would say probably not.
No, hey, look, I'm not gonna lie.
I wouldn't say don't shoot your shot, but I mean, I wouldn't, like, don't be the motherfucker at Trader Joe's all day every Sunday. You know, like, the employees are gonna notice you. They're gonna be like, hey, buddy, like, I've noticed you've been in here trying to find love, and like, people are talking.
We're gonna have to ask you to leave.
Like, I think you're more of like a Walmart guy, like, you know what I mean? You know, you've got on New Balance. It's just not a vibe here. We're more Louis Vuitton over here. It's Trader Joe's, but like, I'm just saying, like, it's if organically you happen to be out and about and you see somebody, and you do have to be in those places, it can certainly happen. I never once did I say that it couldn't. I'm just saying that it can't. Your motivation, your mindset can't be like, I'm going to go to the grocery store, because like, I'll joke about stuff like that, but like, I'm going to the grocery store because I got to get some chicken or breast or some shit. You know what I mean? I'm not going there because I'm like, yes, Sunday afternoon, the day of love or whatever. You know, like, you can't have that kind of mindset, because now you're setting yourself up for failure. You know, you got to just, you know, I don't want to say like the movies, but you just need to happen to organically have something happen. You know, if somebody is just like, oh, you know, I like your shoes or your shirt, and that opens up the conversation, or vice versa, you know, you compliment them and something starts kind of rolling, then, you know, roll with it if you know what's happening. You know, don't be ignorant to it.
I just go with a different mentality. Like, if you're actively trying to get a house and you put 100% of yourself into getting a house, eventually you're going to get a house, which we all know, everyone here. If you put all your energy into getting fit and losing weight, eventually you're going to get fit and lose weight. If you spend all your energy into finding a good woman that you can spend the rest of your life with, I feel like eventually you're going to find that woman you can spend the rest of your life with. But if you're just waiting to organically lose weight, that doesn't happen. If you're expecting to organically get a house, it's not going to happen. That's just my thought.
Organically get a house.
I'm like, honestly, in today's market, though, you may not like what I have to say about that, but you're probably not going to get the house you want. You're going to get outbid, you know, by somebody with deeper pockets. So that's one of them situations where you talk to your realtor and you're like, look, here's a couple of things I like. You give me a call.
Dude, I'll send you a screenshot after this. What I got my house for and what it's worth now is bananas, but every other house is like bananas too. So
I know the market is a very different place, but I'm just like, even when I was looking, when I bought like years ago, and I would say Jay too, I mean, there weren't like tons of options, but like, you kind of got what you wanted. You know what I mean? Like, you had like a top 3. Right now, it's the Wild West. Like,
I thought you both got a very good deal on your homes. I think Jay got almost the same thing. Like,
Jay got a slightly better deal than mine, I think. You know,
yeah.
You know, but like right now, like 2024, yeah. I would say houses are like the dating market, bro. You're gonna take what you could get and be happy about it. You're gonna pay too much for something that doesn't have the value, and you're just gonna have to take it. And you know what? Like dating, if you fucking do that, you're going to be a little bit miserable just waiting for the market to crash so you can get what you deserve.
That market ain't crashing nowhere. You can look for it. You can be organic if you want to. You better. I don't know what to tell you.
Look, I'm not trying to hear somebody that got married in fucking 1947, bro. You know what I mean? Like, the game has changed. It's different, you know?
Save like, your money.
Fucking Steve. It's like, hey, man, here's my AOL messenger. You know, hit me up sometime. They call me Big Steve. Like, you know what I mean?
It's called AIM.
Times are different, bro. They're different. You want to go? You like roller skating? Like, it's like they're not doing that shit no more, bro.
As much as things change, they stay the same.
The Miley Cyrus "I Can Buy Myself Flowers" song was not. You know how many times I heard a bitch say some shit like that to me? I was like, "Hey, I got you these flowers." It's just I can get myself flowers, and I hope you do, bitch. Like, you know what? Like,
you don't need to be talking to those girls.
Somebody's going to appreciate my flowers, but like I'm telling you, bro,
mean.
It's a difference.
They're mean.
Mean girls should just be renamed regular girls.
But I don't know. I was talking to somebody earlier. It was some girl, and she was, single as fuck, but she's mean too. And I was like, she's like, what advice are you going to give your son when he starts dating? And like, I was thinking about it. I'm like, what advice am I going to give him? I think I'm just going to tell him to it's going to hurt. Do what you feel like is right, but it's going to hurt. And don't be scared. You cannot be scared.
I'm going to send a funny ass meme to you two. It's mad disrespectful, but like I laughed. Oh no, not that meme. Not that meme.
Uh-oh.
All
right, sent. Take a peek. I'm not saying I condone it, but I did laugh.
I was looking at my watch. I'm like, who the fuck is texting me right now?
Yeah, that's funny. That is funny though.
That is cool. I could put that on my personal Facebook because that's just kind of content I put on there.
Yeah, it is not. So I'm not talking about that one on air, but I laughed. I was like, God damn. God damn. But yeah, I mean, so that was like really, I don't know. I just felt like talking about the scene and, using myself in some situations. But I mean,
yeah,
like,
I hope I'm wrong. I hope that you were right. It works out.
I wouldn't worry. I'm not worried about me, and I mean, like, while I appreciate it, I mean, I wouldn't be worried about me. I just, because like
we fine over here.
Hey, we good over here, bro. Like, I'm not worried about blank. You know what I mean? Because like the thing is, like, I have confidence in myself. You know what I mean? Like, I know that like I'm a catch. Like, I joke and say things like on this podcast, but at the end of the day, like, I'm a good human being. I have a lot to offer, and I have a lot of experience in relationships at this point. And like. I guess you could say like, emotional intelligence, so like it's a whole lot of stuff that like I know that I can bring to the table. It's just a matter of like, finding somebody when the time is right. And honestly, Kobe threw that shit in the basket, bro. I'm just excited to like live my life like on a day to day and, hope for the best. Cause I have a lot of good things going for me that don't involve, somebody else. Like I got me, so I'm okay. But I just wanted to share that advice for anybody that might relate a little bit to my situation, because I mean, I did take that stuff kind of hard and it can be overwhelming in the dating scene. And I had to figure this shit out for myself, like people be like, you got to work on yourself. And like, that's such a vague thing. So you
had to learn by fire.
Yeah. And I wanted to just kind of have a more in-depth conversation for somebody that might need that advice, because it's
when people always say those cliches and it's like, what does that even mean? Like, people like, well, if you
learn to love yourself first so other people can do it.
If you need anything.
Yeah. But it's not helpful. Like, I'm sending my thoughts and prayers. Like, fucking Anne, I'm struggling out here. Like, I have a financial issue. Have you sent money? It's not helpful.
Oh, there's fresh out of that.
I don't got none of that for you. The church tries to get
or like Gia said back in the day. She's like, well, don't date. Just just be by yourself and figure it out. And pretty much what she was saying is, all of a sudden you're alone. Be alone even harder.
Yeah. And I just think like, it's one of those things where to simplify it, like, working on yourself doesn't necessarily mean like self-work. It means you need to not focus on needing somebody else to complete you. If you feel like you need somebody to feel whole, then you're never going to be happy. And if you find that happiness and they leave you, it's going to hurt 10 times harder because you're becoming dependent on other people. That's not a healthy way to be. You have to be your own person. So like, if you think you're good, cool. Know you're good. Like, know that you're fine. Like, don't care about finding somebody. Like, you can make your jokes like, I will be nice. Cool. But like your day to day and your reality, you need to be comfortable with that.
Well, like I told Tinkering when she was yelling at me today, I'm like, if I was single, I would be a completely different person. But like, I'm a 2-time dad now, husband. I work overnights. I have 11 animals here, I think. Yeah.
We got chickens, boys.
Yeah, we got chickens. So
man. But like, and that's like fun. Like I love sitting back and looking at my friends that are in relationships with families and seeing the people that they've become based on their children and their wife and their responsibilities. And like how it's kind of the fundamental thing of this podcast is just how do you be an adult that is in the gaming and anime and all these things. But like, like what does that really look like, like on your day to day, as a, from our perspectives, as like a man, and it's a beautiful thing because, we're looking at, a dude with one kid, we're looking at a dude with 2 kids, we're looking at a dude with 0 kids. And, like we just see how we function and how we operate. And somehow we all overlap and we find our individual, happiness and our individual passions, and we make time and we make it work. And it's like a beautiful thing. And I think that that's worth talking to people that like, are in our predicament that, maybe feeling like they're not the greatest dad, like they're alone and they're, oh man, I'm not making enough money or, I'm not there enough. You know what I mean? Like maybe they, like you guys' perspective make them feel better. Maybe there's somebody like myself. It's like, oh man, I keep going to anime conventions and I can't find love. Like fucking, and you probably won't. And that's okay. You know what I mean? And like, it's okay. Like the anime convention is, you go there because you want to be there, not because you're trying to find somebody. You're fucking up the whole system, bro. Go there, dress up, have fun, go home, get on Fortnite, call it a day.
Yeah,
you're gonna be all right.
Ironically, like it doesn't even make sense for me saying it, but like everything I wanted to do, I do believe in just doing the work. Doesn't matter how you feel, just doing the work, get what you want, do what you want, and just keep doing it until you get it because millions of other people have it, you can have it too. And that's always been my mentality with the house, the kids, a job, marriage. Just anything that's like you just get up, you put in the work until it's done. And like, I just, the organic thing, I do see the argument for it. I know that it happens. I know that if you're not looking for it, that's when it could happen. I do believe both sides of that, but I just think it's unproductive to a point.
Well, on this podcast, we'll leave it on a very honest note. Dear Jaybird Plays, you sent me some pictures the other day.
Okay.
With you and the kids at the bowling alley. Right. Video clips, to be more specific. And growing up as your nerdy friend and all the goofy shit we've done and all the situations and all the parties, I'm very proud of the man that you've become. You're creating core memories for these kids as a nerdy gamer dad. And you're showing them like camaraderie. You're showing them, fatherly love, uncle like love, just like a what it means to really be like a male role model, for these people in a broken world. And that's just one of the purest things that I've ever seen. So I'm very proud of the man that you've become and the things that you do on a regular basis.
Male role models are probably one of the most important things right now in our society.
Steven, I think that you're one of the most spineless individuals I've ever met in my entire life.
The fuck? When have I been a coward?
Literally every day, it baffles me. But seeing as we need to make something clippable, I will also add, I do think that like, when push comes to shove, you're where you need to be. You make things happen. You didn't go to, traditional school necessarily, but you are, a modern day blue collar person that does whatever they need to do in order for their family to succeed, even if your ignorant ass doesn't understand it, which I know you don't. But you blindly go in and do what you need to do. You'll work 16-hour days. You'll work overnight. And I think that there's a level of respect, that should be shared that, as men, we don't always get. I'm giving you that right now. I'm letting you know, like, I see that. I've always seen that. And I respect you for that reason. If it wasn't there, we probably wouldn't be friends because I kind of hate you on a personal level.
We're not friends. I told you that. We're not fucking friends.
Yeah, I really despise you on a multitude of levels. But I mean, at your
core, we're not friends.
At your
we're
core,
cousins,
there's some positive stuff happening there. You know what I mean? Those kids need that. They need to have that stability. They need to see what it means to not give up and to keep pushing forward and provide and get a home and make all these things happen that you didn't have growing up. And that's super important. And while you're doing it, you've maintained all your passions and things that they see. You're gaming with your family. You're going out of your way, figuring out how to let's have family game night. It's super important because they don't do that. You have different computers for them. You have different switches with them, and that's just a beautiful thing. And you guys are both doing really, really well. And I don't think that that's said enough. But outside looking in, I don't talk about it a lot, but I'm very proud of you both in that, respect in that regard. So that's a thing that I just wanted to share. and end the podcast on that note. You guys, I already know what you're going to submit. Tino, you're a good cat dad. We like you so much. Thanks for helping us with our computer issues. Hey, you know what? I do what I can. Every time I'm feeding them, I'm like, I'm doing this for Jay. Do it for her or whatever. That's me. But that's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm very proud of you both.
Hey, look, right? I appreciate it, man. I love it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, it's hard out here.
Remember that. That's the one you got to clip later because I'm not this nice often. But
oh man,
you're never.
You know what? It must be this carbonated water talking. It's not me, guys. This has got me in my feelings. This black raspberry should be
black raspberry.
You know. But yeah. So on that note, I'm ending the podcast. It's 1:54. Hour 54 minutes in. It's 12:55 a.m. here. I do actually have to get up and drive an hour tomorrow morning to go see some important people at work, so that's a thing.
There you go.
But
you getting fired again?
No, I think it would be wild if they had me drive an hour to sit down like a breakfast meeting, and they're like, "Hey, so this is going to be your last drive, homie." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, you know, so
I don't want to see you again.
What is that? Can you verify my parking? What was the little stamp they used to do?
Right?
They're like, "Nah, we can't do that."
Like in a cartoon, I look at my phone, it's like, "You don't have no money." I'm like, "Oh no!" It's like just as broke. No, even better. Like you watch like the odometer, like the dollars start going away or whatever.
Oh man!
So it's all red with like a skull. Like, I'm like, oh shit. But yeah. So if you guys enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to share and comment. We joke a lot, but I think that in that joking, that there is a lot of seriousness, or at least we try to have that. We try to like lather it up, make it work. We don't go in dry, right, Jay?
Hey, I mean, unless that's what they're into.
Who am I? A man of service.
Man, who am I?
I thought of so many jokes. I'm not gonna. I have at least 3.
It's 3:00 in the morning. We out here. We wilding right now.
You're right. So, all right, guys. Well, again, if you hung out for this ridiculous long podcast, we appreciate you. If there are topics that you do want to hear in the future, please, by all means, let us know.
Man, hit us up.
And if you hate this, like, say it in like a nice way. Talk to me nicely. Be like, I really didn't like how Steven was talking.
You could talk mean to me
about gravity and flying because it's it was gravity manipulation.
No, they're definitely going to tell you that you were wrong, Tino. Everybody, get on Tino.
Did he have wings?
Set him straight.
Did he have wings? He specifically said he doesn't have wings.
No wings.
Set him straight, people.
Therefore, it's self-gravity manipulation.
No,
where was the wings on Thor?
Is water wet?
Thor
throws Mjolnir and then it drags him.
Does the hammer have wings?
His helmet does.
That's in the comics. You're such a nerd. Get me out of here.
I want to go home.
This guy's wrong about everything, and it's crazy. I hope you choke on your straw.